Hello, everybody. How's it going?
Stuart, we've got a new ship information times several. We've got a new ship information times several.
Something like that,
He's
yes.
so enthusiastic. All of his lungs have been filled with cannon. He's having to cough it up. Is that what's happening, Stuart?
Sure. I'm just wondering why we're not using the Picard all cars.
Because that comes out tomorrow, Stuart.
Oh, my goodness.
This is the
Okay.
Stuart. Tomorrow's Picard.
No, but we could have been like first to have the L cars.
Tomorrow, Stuart. Picard starts tomorrow. Yes, Picard starts tomorrow, Stuart. My God. We've had the calm before the storm. How do you feel about tomorrow? The storm begins.
Doesn't feel like it's real yet. It feels like it's too soon. Last I remember, it was like so far away. Looking forward to it, and all of a sudden it's here. It's like, oh,
Wow, there was a
trippy.
first trailer. That's great. It'll come out eventually. Oh, no, it's tomorrow.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for it for sure. Heard a lot of good things, and we'll see how it goes.
Yes. I'll be up early. I'm expecting 4 hours of prep, 5 hours of prep. So that's sort of how long it takes. Because, we're here to go full on with this stuff. So I expect to spend you're sleeping, you're a cute little Canadian sleep, and I'll be working away at comparison renders.
This is the way.
Indeed. We'll see what's going on.
Yeah. So anyway, we're hoping this will be a good kickoff to Picard. Hopefully, you guys will be excited and chime in with your thoughts, everything. Things you're looking forward to, and yeah, those Instagram logs were quite cool, and learned quite a bit of information, which is interesting. So,
I mean, I re-listened to the ones, and the character ones are very much a case of what do we already know, but the ones that clearly made for Trekyards, some new things.
yeah, some interesting stuff, which
But
we'll get into.
I'm gonna start a poll first as well.
Yeah. Gonna start a poll, then he's gonna share. So, 27 of you here, which is amazing, guys. Hit that like button; it really helps us out and shows your love for the channel, and the support is really welcome. So please hit that like button if you're able to. Ooh, Jeff Sturmis here. Made it to live. Been a while. What's up? Not much, Jeff. Good to see you. Why do things resize themselves? Just for no reason. Oh, speaking of, we are having like massive wind right now. Literally 10 minutes to the power went out. My computer shut down, so just be prepared. If that happens, hopefully it'll come right back. But really heavy winds right now, so we took out a power line or something.
Great. That's a thanks for warning us. So
Yep.
And he's gone. He'll be back in a few seconds.
That's the black.
Yes.
My computer was in the middle of rendering a video.
Oh, no.
My personal channel is at 63%, and just boom, power gone. Like offer. Yeah, so it was fun.
Yeah, I had that once when the dad kept. He was here. It was a few years ago, and he there was a plug connected to the internet, and he moved the plug to clean his computer. It killed the internet, but that also killed the power because I was rendering. I had to keep resetting his. It was a whole thing.
And Brett, no, we have not seen the first 6 episodes. No.
We didn't ask. We didn't try. Weren't offered. All the things. But, the only thing it would have done, Stu, is we could have pre-made. We could spend all December pre-making like 120 videos and then just sit back and go, right, there we go, we're done. Huh.
It would have been frustrating to have to wait each week to talk about it.
Yep.
So
if only there's a cool ship next week. And that's it, yeah. I like the week by week factor. I like the fun. I like the discussion. I like the theorization. It's nice. I like it. If all 10 have been dropped, I know all 10 are done. If all 10 have been dropped, the entire community factor would not be here. So I'm super thankful that we're getting as a proper Bosch, classic Trek Bosch,
Ozzy, though, member for 36 months at the rank of Federation Council.
Stuart, Federation Council, that's a fancy name.
It is. It's replaced Federation President. You should probably go check out the join button, by the way. I'll talk about that when he shares his video.
Yes, renovation.
Anyway, Ozzy says, the USS Okie Dokie is the new flagship. No, it's not. We would never give that one to Flagship. And Tom Casey, $5, really pumped for season 3, but have to wait and see. Okay, that rhymed. You're a poet and you don't even know it. And also ads. I didn't have anything clever for that ad segue.
Since when have they ever asked for ads in the first 10 minutes?
They're doing a lot lately, actually.
Okay, that's new. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Anyway, do you want to go share?
Yes, I do. But real poll first, year though. Before I go.
Ooh, yes, our poll. Yes. Let's see. How do you feel about Captain Savik of USS Titan, the flagship between Enterprise 1701A and 1701B? Love it, like it, okay, don't like it. Yeah, I kind of like it actually.
We'll discuss, and I'll see you in a minute.
Oh, well. 56 of you here, 24 likes, guys. Hit that like button. Matter of fact, smash that like button. We're excited to get into Picard season 3. It's going to be something cool, I would hope. We've heard a lot of good things. We've seen a lot of good things. So this is the way, as it were. We really want to hear your thoughts, though. So if you can super chat in and show your support to the channel and just your excitement for the card that is coming, we would really like that if you're able to. And you know, click the like buttons, chat, all those things. There's a join button down there. We've changed our joins. We changed our membership rankings. You actually got a lot more for your money now. There's an additional rank added. And we also have a Trekyards fleet, which are going to be kind of unveiling as Picard rolls out at the end of videos. You'll be designated ships depending on your rank. And if you're a captain, you automatically get a ship of your own. And you get a dedication plaque at the end of each video with a little animation of your ship. If you're any of the lower ranks, you'll be randomly assigned to different ships. It's going to be fun. It's going to be a fun, cool thing. If you're an Admiral or Federation Council member, Federation Council is on every ship plaque. And Admirals gets a hero ship or a hero starbase that they get to command. So lots of different options down there for the join button. Go check it out and see if you want to join the channel. Like I said, a lot of things have changed. A lot of things will be changing, and we're excited for the changes. So, and that includes also Picard, honestly. So, lots to look forward to, both in Picard coming out and for the Trekyards channel as well. Lots of changes coming, and a lot of them have kind of been rolled out already. Now we just got to kind of, as with Picard season 3 kicking off, we got to kick off some of the changes and whatever. But please make sure that you are checking out the join button. Jeff Sturm has been a member for 16 months at the rank of ensign. I know you got Trekyards Lieutenant Commander. You just did that to be nice to the commander because you joined the commander rank, but that's changed. You're now ensign. Will there be older Boimler than season 3? No, that would just be silly. And Sci-Fi Nation has been member for 5 months at the rank of ensign. Join now and help the guys to keep making content. Yes, just joining the channel or even just super chatting if you're able to. We'd really appreciate that. Or if you're watching this after the fact, hit the super thanks button and shoot us a little bit of a super thank you that way. We'd really appreciate that as well. Are the Picard novels official? They never are. No. Eric Skelton, $5. Which criteria did Paramount use to decide what podcasts get early Picard 3 viewings and which doesn't? Are they bigger Trek shows than Trekyards? No, you have to apply for that kind of stuff. They don't just hand them out to whoever. You have to go through the chain of command and apply for it, and we just didn't feel like we wanted to do that because it would almost ruin the way we do things. So
didn't even think of it as an option. Didn't even occur to us. Busy doing our own thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just doing our own thing. Yeah, hi, Stuart.
Hi, Dr. Nick.
So of course, the new things and bobs was the General Picard stuff. What of the parts of the logs in general grabbed your fancy the most, would you say?
Well, I was excited to see 3 ship logs, first of all. So the ship logs definitely were the things that snagged me right away. Those are the ones I listened to instantly. Mm-hmm. There's even one for a ship that I don't even like. But it was just good to get that kind of out of the way as well. So yeah, the ship logs really grabbed me. I did listen to all of them, and it takes about half an hour to listen to all of them. I think some of them are a little long-winded, and they don't give you any information really, honestly.
Well, if you've seen Star Trek, they give you no information.
Well, or give you information we've already
That's what I mean.
About.
Yeah.
So, no, I thought it was really cool the way they did it. I do like that they do the logs even during Prodigy and stuff, and I do listen to those.
Was that where they were first introduced? I think
no, they were first introduced in Discovery, because they do them for Discovery as well.
Oh yes, I guess this weren't as engaging. They just didn't.
Well, it's Discovery; nobody cares. So.
Well, sure, but I don't remember there being. I think there were the TIG logs or something. I don't think that was a draw. It was a Janeway. We felt like they were promoting that as a hey, look, here's a thing. I feel like anyway.
Yes. Yeah, I can't remember exactly where it started, but it's been fun to follow them on Instagram for the show. So it's a nice supplement. You know?
Yeah, and of course we got the Enterprise. Though I wish the thumbnail was not just the Enterprise D, because it felt like it was just going to be on the D, but it's actually like peeled. It might have made people not click on it. It's actually all the Enterprises. It's actually very in depth.
Yeah.
The Titan and the La Serena. It's nice they did it, but okay, moving on. So of course we learned the fate of the Enterprise F, which was a big old. That's first in the lineup. Thoughts? Well, tell us what it is, Stuart, and then thoughts of said Enterprise F.
Well, it's retiring after 15 years, which a lot of people are complaining is too short a time, but there's a specific instance that they refer to in the log, which I don't have written down right offhand. But something happened to its systems. So I'm fine with it retiring after 15 years. I think that's fine. But it is on its way to its decommissioning on Frontier Day, which is kind of neat. So that's what we kind of see of it. Now, does this mean it's going to happen at the beginning of the show, and then at the end we're going to get the unveiling of Enterprise G? That would be kind of neat.
Not a very graceful name, though, is it, Enterprise G?
No, it's not, but...
I mean, Enterprise F is bad enough. It conjures up the F word, let's be honest. But... And then in Voyager J, you always think Enterprise J, because that's, J and J. But yeah, I guess that's implied is what we're going to get, I suppose. Yeah. And I did see some comments online saying it's only took the wind out of the sails a bit, because several people, I'm not sure why they would think this, but several people early on said, the F is going to be the hero of the season. The Titan's just it's like, why would... Didn't really fit, right? Didn't really structurally make sense to me. And no, it might, they might not have built a single set for it. It might only appear as a visual effect exterior asset. And then, whatever, just more of a symbolic end of the era. Because, I'm guessing producer people, if you think, fans have known the Enterprise F for a decade, 2 decades, a decade and a half. If we decommission that, then we get to go fresh and just skip the entire, Stowe canon. Just piggyback over it.
Yeah, it's probably already nixed the Stowe canon, though, I think. Yeah. I don't know.
There's too much of that anyway to be canon. Anyway.
Yeah.
But how do you feel then? Is it exciting in a sense that means that Prodigy and other shows in the middle can look at it? They've now got set dates. We know when. They can't, fudge that. Or does it feel like they've just moved past it and they're kind of ignoring it in a sense?
Don't quite know what you mean by the question. Want to restate it?
Yeah. Are you excited in that now you know the dates of the F, so the other shows can now talk about it when they get there with impunity? They know when. Or is it just more upsetting that we would tease the F and we're losing the F?
That doesn't bother me. That was never a thing for me anyway.
Okay.
I was neither here nor there whether it was going to be a main ship in the show. It was just kind of like, the Odyssey class never really did much for me. What's more exciting to me, I think, is let's kind of jump into another one, but the Enterprise E gets decommissioned 2 years after the events of Prodigy, by the sounds of things, or around the time of the events of Prodigy, because if it wasn't that final battle in Prodigy, spoilers, the damage from that could have been what nixed it. I'd love how it says its final mission was classified, though. So I don't know again if that's referring to that incident in Prodigy, if they would classify that necessarily. So there's some interesting crossover there. Somebody worked out the dates, and it's like 2 years before. Anyway, whatever. So if they're trying to tie that in as well, because we did see the Enterprise F or the Enterprise E.
We saw several of them, Stuart. Yes.
Rendering thing.
Yes.
So.
But at least we know that, because we didn't know when these things were written. You tend to produce things, why they been made 2 weeks ago, right? It's part of a marketing campaign. So, who said they didn't make these things before Prodigy came out, and the Picard team hadn't asked Prodigy team, because they don't always communicate. It's like, if you recall, there was 2 episodes of 2 Treks where they had taken people's bodies, and it was like 2 episodes apart. It happenstance, right? It just happened to do that. It was 2 Rikers that came into the rescue. And it's like, well, 2 seasons, 2 rescues, yep. Well, just sort of happened. But at least now you know that the E that we saw in Prodigy, it wasn't decommissioned before that, which they make it out, well, that's not making sense. At least now we know, yes, it could have been the E, it can have been the E. Cool, right? And it's kind of fun to know dates. It's a little bit solid. Like, that's it. There's no more whatevering around it, but now you've got, if you want to play the F's timeline, you've got those dates. Go.
Yeah.
The novels, and canon, and the design, although they did certainly say, no, multiple captains, meaning we don't want to commit to any of them because we don't want to commit to them because that's other teams' things to do.
CJ O'Neill, though, his member upgraded membership to Federation Council member. So thank you so much, CJ O'Neill.
Thank you very much.
That is amazing.
That helps a ton.
You joined the council. Brett Cooper, $5. Are the uniforms made of leather? The jackets Riker and Geordi are wearing. Some of them will be, yes. Not all of them, though. That's the things.
Yeah, leather. Bit weird. Yeah, but at least we get clear looks of them, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
Oh, and also, guys, if you want to see Titan in action, we've released several new videos since the last time I've been talking. We've done DS9, a gas giant, and a rather nice, I don't know if you've seen it already yet, the Titan A Explores the Unknown. It's a gas giant shot I'm very proud of. I thought it was rather pretty. Yeah.
Yes, very nice. His animations are great.
There you go.
Let's see. M. Stark, member for 10 months at the rank of ensign. Hope we get info on what happened to
wait,
the
hold
Enterprise
on.
E.
Does that mean I officially now outrank most people again?
Yes. We already talked about this. You were sharing. But anyway.
So now if you want to outrank me, you have to look at those join ranks.
Yeah, be able to check the join options.
Exciting.
Speaking of 90 people here, 51 likes, guys. Hit the like button. Let's get those likes up. We can do it. Those are rookie numbers. Let's try to get to 100 likes. But yes, hope we get info on what happened to the E. Might get a line of dialogue or 2 about it. I think they just are going to cover that with the log that they did. Its last mission was classified, which was interesting enough on its own. Yeah, maybe we'll find out what the classified mission was in the show. Don't see why not.
Well, I get the sense they're probably trying to keep it all, opaque for other people to come in. They don't need to invent the final mission of the E, leaving it to some other creator, or Prodigy even. Once you say it, if you say, the E was lost in the Battle of Rantax 4 and in the Gamma Quadrant. It's like, right. Prodigy's now got to get, if they want to use that, damn, they've got to get all the Gamma Quadrant somehow. There's something to be said for not over canonizing canon unless you need to, etc.
Yeah. Well, the other thing that's interesting about the Enterprise F stuff is the fact that in the 15 years they had several captains.
Yes.
Which I thought was quite interesting. So, yeah, we need to learn about some of these other captains, I think. Those would be some good Trek shorts or whatever, filling in those.
As in my Trek shorts or another Trek shorts?
Short Treks, I guess.
Okay, because I have Trek shorts.
Whatever, yes. confusing.
But it's tricky because anything with the Enterprise F, you'd want to then see a really amazing bridge and corridors and engine room. You know, it's such a big can of worms to show. I really don't hope they show the Stargazer bridge as being this again. It would be odd to have it. You know what I mean? There's a lot of caveats there to that. But, you know, canon is there. With LED wall or green screen, they could easily do a brief bridge. I mean, in Picard season 1, the end of, O was on a digital bridge and Riker was looking at a digital bridge. So they could do it. Didn't look great, but it was there.
Yeah. I just want to read the log real quick for the Enterprise F because it does have some other information. Odyssey class launched in 2386, commanded by several captains in the past 15 years. Currently scheduled for decommissioning after critical systems were compromised during the Monfet Gambit. The rescue efforts.
Monfet, there's a Cardassian with a similar name.
The rescue efforts for the Raelian refugees on Fenton 4. The Enterprise F final flight will be on display during this year's Frontier Day, which I think is kind of cool, actually.
How many Enterprises don't get blown up? We can see the final mission. You know, because if the E got trashed enough to be retired, the B got, we don't know, the C got destroyed, the Classic got destroyed. You know, there's only so many Enterprises that don't get destroyed. That's quite a famous thing, you know, seeing. And if there's no new Enterprise being built, which we don't know, but if there is or isn't, you know, then you might be seeing the last Enterprise for a while. Who knows? You know, are they pivoting to make the Titan the new? Everyone wants to see a new Titan show, or are they pivoting to reinventing the Enterprise? We want to see an Enterprise show, because you know, go from Stargazer to Titan shows they can just swap. You know, swapping ships left, right, and center. They can do that. So you say they can't go to the Enterprise. You know, I don't know. Oh, can you imagine if the Enterprise G was just a Titan?
Well, I hate that is also called the Constitution 3 class. That's stupid. Or the Neo Constitution, as everybody's calling it.
Well, yeah.
So much.
I mean, that log certainly read as There's many abbreviative names for this thing. We have many side names. There isn't a class name because there's lots of other names, etc. Yes, but no, the F is good, and I think somebody said somewhere in some interview sometime that the F comes near the end. You know, ending your season on Frontier Day is quite a nice thing to do. Ends on a positive note. Especially if, you know, their final mission is at the, because Picard pretty much, you know, Enterprise just got launched in Enterprise D, give or take. It was pretty damn new, so I guess you could argue that thematically for a old generation, which was the new generation called the Next Generation, to give their final send off is to be at the launch of the next Enterprise, and you could argue maybe they'll do the decommission of one, launch of the other on the same day. You could argue that. It'd be a bit weird, but you could do it. And then that'd be a way of you end the episode with the launching it, and then all looking at the Enterprise being like, aha, similar to Star Trek 6, all looking out the view screen, seeing the Enterprise come out of dock, it's like, off to the new kids, cut. So you can imagine that being the thematic end, because they serve 2 Enterprises, there's one in between, who knows. Just possible.
And James Butler, yes, the Enterprise F is the flagship. Doesn't say it in the log, but the Enterprise is always the flagship. Unless there's no Enterprise. Then they upvote a ship to be flagship.
Because we just talked about this, Stuart. I remember talking about it briefly, and you had some opinions. That'll be fun when we get to the Titan stuff.
Yeah. I mean, launching a new Enterprise would be awesome. And the first episode is called The Next Generation. That's the title of it. So... yeah, I think they're going to start out with Foundation Frontier Day. I think that'll be like the first episode would be my guess, but
I think the last couple.
Yeah, I don't know if they'll launch the new Enterprise right away though.
No, I wouldn't think so. Because it's like a Pavlov's dog, or it's the gun. It's the writing. It's the gun. It's the fired gun, the unfired gun. If you show the Enterprise in the first episode being launched, then you're telling the audience it will come to the rescue of the Titan. That is what you're saying. If you don't do
Yeah.
it, everyone will be disappointed. That's just how that narratively, structurally works. Even if they don't mean to think that, they'll think that. Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Colin says, "Hi guys, I heard Picard has been cancelled." No, Colin. Picard was commissioned for 3 seasons. There's not a 4th season because it's only commissioned for 3 seasons. You can't be cancelled if you've not been renewed because you only plan to do 3. So, yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's like that's a slight misconception. Shows aren't always cancelled; they're just not renewed, because TV shows aren't always expected to get another. It's like the Ships Line calendar. And I recently interviewed Doug. He says every year it's a question mark. Will we do a new calendar? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be cancelled if it's not picked up again. It's just a case of there's not a new one. Now, if it's in production, or for example, Stargate Atlantis, that was actually cancelled during the end of its last. Or Enterprise was cancelled where they were still releasing its 4th season, and they said we aren't making any more. That's a cancellation versus we've finished. Like the Orville isn't cancelled; it's just not renewed. It could come back. There's nothing stopping it except people, money, and time. But the Orville isn't cancelled; it's just not renewed. There's a huge specific distinction there. It is subtle. It's really subtle, but it is quite specific. Yeah. Yeah.
And Picard is the anomaly because it was scheduled to be 3 seasons from the get-go.
Yes.
So.
Just they radically changed everything about it every year. I would love to have sat in the original Patrick Stewart meeting there with Akiva Goldsman and say, hey, here's the plan, and then just walk in and be like, yeah, we followed 1% of that, Pat. Yes, we did, Akiva, or Alex, or whoever.
I have a feeling this season is going to be what we should have got for season 1.
Yep.
All the old cast back doing their thing, maybe introduce new characters, filter some of the old cast out, and newer ones be more prominent in season 2, and move it that way. They really went ass backwards with this whole Picard thing. Honestly.
Lack of planning makes a difference.
Yeah. So, yeah, this whole thing about getting decommissioned due to critical systems being compromised was interesting, and the fact that they named the Gambit, I don't know if that's going to be a book, if that's going to be something that they have planned for that. But 15 years is not a long time for a starship. I know a lot of people point out, well, in Star Trek 3, they said the Enterprise was 20 years old. Problem is, the Enterprise was 40 years old by the time Star Trek 3 rolled around. They got that line wrong. And yeah,
now
it lasts a while.
Now, the Enterprise D, however, only lasted 8 years. So some Enterprises and ships can last no time at all. But obviously that went down with all hands. But the ship went down. I mean, it's very variable. We don't know how long the B lasted either. And the C, again, got blown up and there's a big gap. But you'd hope a ship would last at least 20 years, 25. I mean, you could, newer than 25 years, fine. I mean, tech evolves hugely. But I mean, a flagship, you'd want to be the pinnacle of tech.
Yes, that's the other thing.
And if say you're in for 20 years, you might end up spending 3 times a 2-year refit just to keep up with modern specs or cutting edge. So you might end up spending 5 years or 20 in dry dock because you want to keep it up to date.
Plus, the flagship is doing flagship things.
Yeah.
Sometimes like super critical things. Other times just taking diplomats, ferrying them around,
showing that flag. Hello.
Yes.
Starfleet. Exactly. Hello. Goodbye. And that's it.
But they are in the thick of things a lot, and so a lot can happen to a space frame. There's a lot of gravitational stresses, microfracturing, all this stuff that could happen.
Well, it depends what you do. I mean, you can do one mission which really screws you over, or you can do basic stuff. But Stuart, speaking of basic stuff, guys, super chat your thoughts, comments. Only a couple so far. Already half an hour in. So put your thoughts in. With 100 people, we can get at least another. Not like Spike. Super chat Spike. What's the phrase? What do we say for that?
I don't know. Super something. Yeah.
Super Spike.
A super spike like what?
No. I would like a super spike. And 7 more votes to hit 100 in our poll as well, as we're going to hit Titan in a little bit. Let us know.
And speaking of 113 of you here, which is amazing, guys, make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, first of all, and consider joining. At least look at the new ranks for the joins if you're already joined as well. I want to see where you're sitting. But 64 likes. We want to get 200 likes, so hit that like button.
Yes. But no, it's I obviously leaves me wondering if they're just entirely skipping the F as a ship base. Basically, are we going to see flashbacks to an event that the F takes place in? I would like to think we could.
Is that why they named the Gambit?
That
specifically called it out, as if it's going to be, yeah, exactly.
Maybe they have to do the Gambit as part of the plot, and they're just kind of setting up here. Because it's a big deal to invent an Enterprise, fully in canon, and leave.
We got a lot of information in these logs, which I didn't anticipate, which was nice. Which makes me think, because they're in the logs, they're not going to be in the show, because that's kind of the way these logs go. But considering that Gambit is specifically called out, and even the planet name, it's like there's a story there. It's not just on a random mission, some systems got compromised. So, yes, it could tie in directly to the show with flashbacks or callbacks, or it could also just tie into something else they're working on. Maybe for next season, if they
next season.
If they got another character.
It's uncancelled. Next season confirmed.
I don't know.
I know, I'm just remember that person's comment.
Because the thing is, there might be spin-off shows of this, which should technically be the next season of it. Just not Picard anymore. So if they have something like that planned, maybe it's a movie they have planned with the Enterprise F. That'd be great. But yeah, and multiple captains of the F, which is also interesting. Do they get killed? Do they get promoted? Do they get shifted around? What happens?
And yeah, not mentioning the Stowe one, because there's one in canon. They ignored him. Could have mentioned him.
No, even Data was the captain of the Enterprise F. Don't forget Data. That was in the countdown comment, just in case you guys wondered. Jock Cop, though, throws in 20 pounds. Oh my goodness, thank you so much. I've heard a rumor that the Enterprise F will be destroyed in the last episode, and the Titan will be rechristened Enterprise G, like the Yorktown became the Enterprise A, or the Sao Paulo to Defiant. How would you feel about that? It would be interesting. It's one of those things. I could be very annoyed by it. I could also be I would really like that if I really liked the way the show went and I got a real feel for the ship. Might be something that I'd be excited about. It's not out of the realm of possibility, honestly. Maybe they have to pull maybe the first episode is the Enterprise F getting retired, and at the end they have to pull it out to kind of save the day, and it gets destroyed, and then they transfer the mantle over to the... I don't think they'd rename it, though. I don't think they'd rename the Titan into the Enterprise. They could make the Titan the flagship in the meantime until they get a new Enterprise.
Well, they've also made shirts and a big deal of things. They've made merchandise for the Titan. It feels disingenuous to recommission, because they picked the name of the ship. It could be anything. It didn't have to be a Titan. It doesn't necessarily change the plot at all, necessarily.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, and we know that that this new Titan is a medium ship. It's not really flagship material. I mean, every flagship has been a pretty beefy high-end ship. Titan is not.
Yeah.
It may have phaser ball turrets and phaser strips, but not a lot of either. So I wouldn't put it in the able to do too much high-end category.
Yeah. Eric Skelton, $5. When Riker says, "Hello, beautiful," is he looking at the Titan or Enterprise A or F? What's your guess? I talked about this already. First time we saw that. I'm guessing it's not the Titan. I think it's going to be something in a museum, perhaps an older ship. Would be my guess.
Well, and also, we know it's not his Titan, because his Titan is inside the new Titan.
Yes,
which is a thing because they could have been decommissioned and put somewhere. So now we know it's not that, because that was always one of the options that he would say that for his own ship. I mean, E or D. I mean, even if you can't build the E sets, you can still throw it in a museum and show it as a And we have sovereigns in the trailer. Like, they look great, so we could easily have an Enterprise E.
I want to say I hope it's the Enterprise D or a Galaxy class. Which has been renamed Enterprise to be in a museum or something. That'd be great.
Yeah, because Enterprise got blown up, like really bad damaged. Major refit just to make it museum worthy.
Yes, exactly. but just changing the registry and just would be fine for another one, just to put it in the museum.
I mean, so famous, yeah.
So yeah, I want to call the Enterprise D, but I'm not going to. I think the Enterprise E might be more likely. It's hard to say. Well, it won't be the Titan, though, I don't think.
I mean, yeah, the D has a lot less symbolic power because it was trashed. Over half of it was trashed, so it isn't really. It really is a, rebuilt museum, which would in fact though give an emphasis of, if they were to use green screen to go on the D, or at least this D, walk through the hallways, being able to transporter and whatever, then it's not really the Enterprise D, but they could talk as actors. It feels like coming home. It might not be the exact same ship, but it feels to me like home. They could do that sort of dialogue, or the same logic for the E as well. But the E, we know, didn't get blown up, so it would be actually the E. I mean, that scuff print was mine. When I had a bad day, I kicked the door, etc. Yeah.
All right, let's see. TX are way 5 pounds.
Thank you.
I had given up on season 3, however, ardent critics of Picard are saying good things, despite them thinking, like I do, that season 1 and 2 were dreadful. Yes, Dave Cullen is one that I watch, and
surprised.
He actually seen. Well, his first video was about the first 6. Then he saw the last 4, and he won't say how he saw them.
Yeah, I was gonna say how.
But he is very adamant that this is a complete turnaround. This is Star Trek, and he's one of those vocal, everything is woke, go broke people, and so he's been really hard on seasons 1 and 2.
But he's more well thought out than many of them. He is. His is scripted a bit more.
I didn't know you watched him. Yeah.
I mean, some. Not religiously or anything, but
him and Critical Drinker I will watch, even though I don't always agree with them. Just hearing that from him.
Yeah, he's more of a funny guy versus take anything he says seriously.
Yeah.
It's like you don't watch a Plinkett review necessarily to see a review.
To get a criticism, yeah.
Yeah. That's what the other shows they do it for.
So yeah, I'm looking forward to season 3. I'm worried my hopes are up too high.
I said this to you last week.
I know.
Everybody, seriously, everyone, tomorrow morning, tonight, Friday morning, whichever, go in thinking to yourself, it could be great, it could be good, it will either way be better than seasons 1 and 2. It can't be worse, right? It can't be worse. Just go with that, right? But really, we've heard several times before, it's a fresh season. You don't actually have... This has been said explicitly. You don't actually have to watch previous seasons, which is not great for those seasons. It's like I think it was a Deadline article today, who, the bigger article, the bigger news sites, obviously we have a very inner fan perspective, they have a much outer. And even that was saying, season 1 and 2, very forgettable. And only a few good things like the episode with Riker and Troy in the first season because they had good chemistry. It's like, yes, wow, right on the money with that one. It's interesting that permeated. Because, are we going to remember seasons 1 and 2? Or is season 3 going to be entirely, overshadowing them? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Raj, I hope so. He says, I wonder if the episodes in season 3 will be longer. That'd be nice.
I think they said they're all over 50. Which you'd expect anyway. That should be the case. But I think season 2, one episode was 39, and it was really with titles, credits, and last time on it was
one was 37 or something. It was what the hell.
And they have substantial last times on.
Yeah.
Really only 32 minutes. I wouldn't even be surprised there's no last times on in this season, and they just go straight to 50 minutes of pure content, which I'd be absolutely fine with.
And Brian Lynch, yes, season 2, episode 1 was awesome though.
Yes.
Episode 1, 2, and 3, and 10. 3 was the Confederation stuff. That was all pretty awesome.
Yeah. 1 was written by Terry, 2 was helped written by Terry, 3 was story by Terry, but not written by, and 10 was story by / fixes by, but not written by Terry.
Yeah.
But, Stuart, I did learn, and I'm happy to have you report I was right, because obviously they did actually film the Stargazer stuff last.
Nice.
We were wondering that the entire time. So episode 1 and 10 were filmed at the same time. Because of course they
were the end of production, leading into season 3 production.
So really those sets were built and then used. So really they were the Titan sets to everybody because they spent, 10 days working on those 2 episodes and then moved on to season 3, which means that for the rest of the season they were on the La Serena set. So I think I don't know if you look back, maybe Patrick's voice was more croaky in the first and last episode, but also maybe he was more engaged with seeing the season 3 stuff coming out, because he wouldn't they wouldn't necessarily read episode 1. Because you have to finish episode 1 if you're then doing episode 10, film at the same time. But also speaks to like Jerry Ryan's performance. She did all the dramatic stuff, came back in on Stargazer, knowing she'd be the commander role. You can imagine that there's a lovely pep in their step from episode 1. You can feel it. That's because they were going into 3, which makes so much sense. What a weird thing to film your season opener last, like ostensibly last. That's a woof. Crazy.
Yeah.
It's a fascinating idea.
Let's see what we got here. The Doctor. $5. So if Savik's Titan was the original, and this show's is Titan A, then what was Riker's Titan called? Also A? Sorry if this came up already. Okay, here we go.
Get ready, everyone, for Stuart's official rant/informative discussion. And 3, 2, 1, action.
Ships of the same name don't always have the same registry, as we see the Defiant in TOS was a Constitution class. Later, the Defiant in DS9 was clearly not. So what happens is you reuse ships' names. You don't really reuse the ship's registries ever. They either get retired, or in certain special instances, which they actually talk about in these logs, some have a significant history, or for whatever reason, they get the suffix, the number after the registry, where forevermore that registry number will be linked with that ship name. So Savik's Titan, which was one of the Shangri-La class or whatever, it was a USS Titan, different registry number, fine. This one, Rikers, did some amazing things, basically got refit into this one. Some of the space frame is still there. So this is, and because important stuff happened with Riker's Titan, and it was a remarkable ship for whatever reason, it got the A designation. So Riker's was the Titan with the same registry number. This is the Titan A with the same registry number and an A after it. Savik's had a different registry number. And
with a lot less numbers.
Yes.
Yes. It's just the same way, sir, that just said that. I've already forgotten. Intrepid in Enterprise is in a ship, but there's also Intrepid in Nemesis, which isn't Intrepid B or C, it's just Intrepid, a new one, new registry. Ships just keep going. Most ships aren't famous. They just do their thing. Up until Prodigy, we could comfortably say there's only one ship with a... I mean, you got Yamato, but that's a they broke their own logic on that, so whatever. Yeah. There was no other ship that had a dash. Voyager, accessible, it makes sense, we get it, it's fine, but that opened up the door, and now we have a third one in this era, and of all the eras, I'd be fine this late era. TNG, I think it should only be the one, but now the fleet's doing bigger things, I can see it,
The interesting anomaly to me is the Sao Paulo being renamed Defiant.
Yeah.
And still getting the Defiant registry number, but not an A. That was a weird... Let's just we need to reuse this model.
Well, my thought was that it's just not famous enough.
Yeah, but they shouldn't have the same registry number then. It should have the Sao Paulo's registry number with just the name change to Defiant.
But why do you need to? If you're basically replacing it outright, why bother changing the registry?
It just seems like a weird exception to the rule.
I mean, all of the paperwork, Stuart, for the sake of nothing. I mean, it's like, do you really have to change your Wi-Fi? Wouldn't you rather keep saying Wi-Fi password and changing a router? Just have it be the same password. If you're getting next day delivery, right? I know what you mean, but there's not really a reason to change it except...
I know, but it's still a weird anomaly, whether there's a reason to do it or not. It's a weird thing. Anyhow, we have 133 votes on the poll.
Oh, excellent!
The new poll.
Excellent, that jumped. Stuart, read out the results.
So, how do you feel about Captain Savik of the USS Titan, the flagship between Enterprise 1701A and 1701B? 43% loved the idea. 26% liked it.
That means
24% thought it was okay, and only 6% said they didn't.
Which is 70% positive.
Yes.
That's good. All right. Awesome.
So we're going to do a new poll. But in the meantime, 120 viewers here, 90 likes. Hit that like button if you haven't already, guys. It really helps us out. helps out the algorithm, and shows your support for the channel. So also keep the super chats coming. We want to hear your thoughts on these things. There's a lot to discuss. We still haven't got into this the whole Savik Titan discussion.
Well, we are ship guys, Stuart, so we can talk about ship. That's why you're here. This is the in-depth stuff.
Yes.
Yes.
So we'll get to that and cover that soon.
I wonder if it's taken us longer to talk about this bit than it was to write and record the bit about the Enterprises.
I know.
At a certain point, that might be the case. Sorry, I just thought it was funny. Sorry.
Anyway, yes, hit the like button, guys, and super chat away. Also, make sure you're subscribed and notified. Have notification bell icon to all. And check out the join option. Even if you are already joined as a member, you might want to find out what your new ranking is, because we did update the ranks. We have a fleet coming out where you'll be assigned to ships, as I've talked about a little bit with you guys when Sam was sharing this video. If you become a captain rank, you automatically get a ship, and anyone under that rank gets randomly sorted into ships. So you'll have a ship and a crew, and on the Discord server you can hang out with your crew and all that. And admirals get a hero ship or a hero starbase, and Federation Council members get their name on all of the plaques as like very important people. So it's going to be a fun system. Hopefully it works out.
Many fancy things in many fancy ways.
And let's see what this new poll is. How do you feel about the USS Enterprise F being decommissioned in Star Trek Picard? Nope. Wanted to see it fly, and I'm fine with it. The F's okay.
Yeah. Because a lot of people don't even know the F existed, let's be honest.
Yeah. Get the F out. All right, let's see. TXR way, £2. Nothing can be worse than season 1 or 2 of Picard. Or season 1 of Discovery. There you go. Grant McGregor, $5. Running out of letters between F and J. Kind of hate the idea of ships not lasting 100 years, but good writing material to joke about the problem. Yeah, Doug Clements in our Facebook chat figured that out. There's enough time before the J where you can get some good length of ship runs in there still, even though we're up to G already. So there's only like 2 between. But
yeah, I mean, there can also be a giant pause, the NX to Connie.
There was a huge pause between the C and the D, so like 80 years, 60 years, something like that.
Yeah, well, Picard wasn't that long. It's 40, I think, at most.
It was long. It was long for a pause, anyway.
Yeah. It was a no reason to have paused because they didn't invent the C when they made the. They didn't invent the B or the C when they made the bloody D. They put them both in. But yeah, that is true. It is interesting to think that we've had this many ships in this time, and then this many letters to fit this time. Now that's not to say the J hadn't already been out for 30, 40, 50 years.
Yeah,
like exactly. You're not taking that into account. And of course, it is an alternate future of Procyon 5, the way we saw it, anyway. So, that is super up in the air. Maybe it was at its last legs in the battle with the Sphere Builders on refit number 6, the size refit where it went up 10 sizes. The Klingon bird of prey did, Stuart. They went and then, and now it was the size of a skyscraper.
And Red 2001 SS says between the C and D was 19 years. Still, even if it was 19 years, it's still a long time for a pause between flagships.
Yes. It's old enough that all new cadets would not have lived with Enterprise.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Razzle, you heard. Nice name. I like that. Throws in $2, and it's his first super chat. So thank you so much.
That's awesome. It tells us that, because I wouldn't have known otherwise. Yeah. Welcome! Thanks for joining in.
What would you guys want to see from a Season 3 spin-off?
Seeing Season 3 first? that would help.
Well, as we've talked about many times, like having the next part be, Star Trek LaForge.
Yes.
Follow LaForge for a few seasons.
Yep.
Or Star Trek Worf. Something like that.
Although if you're going based on number of years, you have to go for the older actors first so they can do it longer. Because LaForge was on the old younger people, and if you then want to jump to someone else who's like he's now ill, etc. But not to say you do each one. I mean that, but yeah, I think LaForge makes just sense. A Klingon something would be fun, obviously. Maybe 7 of 9 if she feels like 7 of 9 for once. You know, if they do her well. A Prodigy spin-off. Voyager reunion with a Prodigy spin-off, which is using 7 of 9 from Picard. It's like, what? Yeah. It depends how it's framed. You know.
You know what I don't want to see from the next set of whatever comes next is this. Any Star Trek Troy, we don't want that. I'm just saying.
Oh.
Everybody else, even Crusher, I'm not really.
You haven't seen her in this season though, because she's a huge player this season.
I don't care. I don't care enough about her to really want to see her in a season.
That's because you
and
didn't
apparently Raffi's likable this season.
But
what?
Really? I find that hard to believe, given her backstory.
That's from Dave Cullen as well. He said she's likable.
Oh, that's a better review than Lots. Huh.
When Michelle Hurd is given good content, she can work well with it. So I'm like, okay, I'll believe you, I guess.
Well, yeah, every time she was Starfleet, she was great. Every time she was Dark, she was less good. At least in our eyes, as this audience. I mean, I would still like to, each of our TNG legacies are experts and amazing in a way for a reason, right? They all have a way of returning, one way or another, for one benefit or another. If you were to plan a 3-year Star Trek LaForge and structure, as we said from the very first time, season 1 is Worf and LaForge and Troy, season 2 is Gates, Riker, season 3 is Wesley and Guinan, and like structure like that. You have a bit of each, and at the end you have a bit more of each. So it's not using them as fan service or even as cameos. You're using their skill set.
Yeah,
because they're not going to stop being experts. Yes, they might not have the contemporary knowledge of modern tech, but I don't think that psychotherapy is going to evolve much since Troy left Starfleet. I think Beverly's medical skills, while judgeable by the EMH Mark 6 for being basic by his standards, is going to be fine,
Yeah. All right. Starship USS Atlantis, 5 pounds.
Atlantis, good name.
Trekyards, this is Atlantis, requesting permission to dock. We have a Kazon Klingon hybrid. They just need lessons to say Kalash.
That is, we've been told that's hard to say, so fair enough on them.
Yeah.
It's not that hard, actually. It's not. You just look at the canon and say, oh, they said that. Wouldn't it be great to do a supercut of how many Klingons said it one way or the other? And you have the 7 Kalesh from Discovery, then 137 different Klingons saying Kales. Who do you want to believe? These people made in 2 years. This people made in 51 years.
As we've said many times, Discovery is the anomaly.
Yes, it's not the rule.
Pick up in the timeline, exactly. It is the exception, not the rule.
And even, as we often say, some people say, oh, the newest Trek counteracts the oldest Trek. Therefore, Stranger Worlds decanonizes TOS. But, of course, Prodigy just released their TOS stuff, which, therefore, by that person's own logic, decanonizes Stranger Worlds visual aesthetic. But that's obviously not the case in either situation. But that's not a logic applicable. Doesn't work.
Yeah.
But what does work, or maybe not, Stuart, is the Titan. Shall we move on to talk about this new thingy, a Bobby, a thing?
Yes, absolutely. We will talk about the Titan.
Now that you might need to read verbatim because it's a bit of a complicated thing, perhaps.
Yeah, just.
Yes, but yes, the
all right.
You get information.
All right. Because of Captain Savik and Riker. Oh wow. Wait till you sort that out on the screen there.
Oh, you can read off the thing on the site, Stuart.
I know, but I'm not going to. There we go.
Fair enough.
NCC 1777 Shangri-La class. Launched at 2290 under the command of Captain Savik. known for its multiple encounters with the Klingon Empire, including the Exoport takeover and Horizon colony rescue.
Sorry.
The Titan became Starfleet's flagship under the recommendation of Captain Sulu of the Excelsior. The Titan was instrumental in maintaining frontier stability before the Khitomer Accords and the subsequent launch of the Enterprise B. Because of Captain Savik and Riker, the Titan's legacy was continued with a brand new starship, one that would retain its registry from now on with the A designation, an honor only given to a select few starships. Love that.
I know the Titan's important, Stuart, but Horizon.
I know. As soon as I read that, I knew what you were.
I don't know what it means, but someone said Horizon. It's like that. Was it in Project it's a temporal anomaly? And you were like, temporal anomaly! Like, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, in my own fan film world, Horizon's a ship I designed with Rick Sternbach. I named it Horizon because I thought that's what it summarized its mission, but I can't call it that. And I got so used to it, I called it Horizon. So, yay! A colony!
Yeah.
Canon! Let's link it together somehow. Don't know. Sorry, Stuart. So, yeah, there you go. Shangri-La. Dates,
Shangri-La
times.
class, yes.
Yeah.
Which we've done an episode on the Shangri-La class with Bill Grouse before he was famous. Let's go check that out. But yeah, I love that they. I love it actually. I love that the Shangri-La class is now officially a thing. First of all, just because it's such a cool design, and yes, the Titan is modeled after it, but. And to have Savik actually have more of a legacy that you can follow and be a flagship as well. Like they kind of hit all the points with this. They kind of explained the flagship thing, which we've been trying to explain for years. I'm super stoked about it, honestly. Just imagining Savik as the captain of the ship and what adventures it went on. So how about you? What did you think when you read that? Because I know I was excited, but what about you?
It's fun because obviously we expected them to deal more with the new Titan stuff.
Yes.
And, you know, we knew it was in the Ready Room, a gold model, and we knew it was Shangri-La. So that stuff we knew as ship lovers. So here it is in plain text, so much canon talked about. Savik's a funny old one because two actresses obviously, strong performance both times, doing very different things. Could have been Star Trek 6, should have been Star Trek 6, maybe should have been taken away, but you know, a very meaningful part of the early movies, very meaningful, and then disappeared, but always gave to me certainly a vibe of very high potential. A Spock's protege, just like the other one was Valeris. Thank you. So I don't really blink at that as a captain. A flagship is interesting because we just debated all this obviously recently, and you said no, Enterprise is only the flagship. You were very explicit on that, so I did laugh a bit when when it says, "Oh no," it's like, sorry, Stuart, because the A is there, which breaks your idea about only if there's not an Enterprise, but the Enterprise A is still functioning until the B. It gets decommissioned the same year, like within 3 months, I believe, of Generations. It's under 6 months, so you know the A. I mean, but it makes sense. The A is old-ish. The crew is very old. Why would you send these 60, 65-year-olds to do flagship stuff? You really wouldn't. Not flagship role. It would make more sense for other stuff. So having a really young, really whippersnapper who's a Spock protege, who clearly knew Sulu reference, yeah, it's a very fun choice. The other people you maybe could have said, you know, Styles, captain of the flagship, you know, logical. But Savik, I think, is something that you can just get you can rally behind.
It's an interesting choice for sure. Like they could have gone with anybody.
Yeah,
but
not many we knew though. If they were going with a legacy factor, there's not that many people that I think fans could just grab and say yes, okay. I feel like
yeah, it definitely fills in some interesting story ideas. So I was stoked to see it, and I'm super happy about it. So
I mean, we didn't technically see the Titan on that picture roll. So what a Shangri-La class is, there is no visual in canon. Like if you want to be there's a calendar image of the Shangri-La, and there's these renders that we know. But I mean, we've been very finicky, right? we haven't actually seen that yet. Although once Bill
there you go.
Once
that's when Bill mocked up. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So he posted this nudity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's the Titan. I mean, it's same thing.
It's Savik's Titan. That's what it would look.
But I mean, it's that new Titan, which I know quite well now because I've flown with it for a while.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's you know, good for Bill. Obviously, he gets 2 Titans for the price of 1. Literally, it's the same ship basically. Kind of makes you wonder if they had known they were going Titan, would Sean Turanjo have them redesigned? Like, if they'd been planning, would then Sean not have designed his Titan the way? Because Titan, weird thing, Titan, they're so similar, you'd think the middle Titan would be similar as well, not be entirely different. But obviously that's not how it works logistically. It's just what do the fans think, Stuart? What are Super Chats saying about the new Titan, etc.?
April Banner says, "Hey, just realized Robin Curtis just came out of retirement late last November, so who knows? We may one day yet get to see her reprise her role if she's up for it. Maybe she is in Picard as a flashback. That'd be kind of cool, actually. She has been going to a lot of conventions dressed as Savik.
I know. I got a great picture. I was very happy.
Yeah. So, that'd be cool.
I mean, she was a great Savik. She's obviously much softer than the other Savik, but like felt younger, felt more fresh, felt more whatever. I'd love to see her back. I mean, you know, she's obviously a bit older now, given those were in the 80s. Could she be? I mean, surely she was younger than Chekhov, and certainly younger than McCoy. Younger than McCoy. As in, like, at least looks, and obviously Vulcan. I mean, she should be alive by this point. I mean, unless something happened to her, you could do a very heavily make-upped. I think Savik was like 160.
I think it was 180 or something.
Oh, it's very, very high. So she could totally be alive. And as we always say, modern medicine every decade could add so much more to your life because it just evolved so quickly. And so just the difference between McCoy's youth versus Savik's youth, those 50 years of youth, the medical tech just radically jumps you. So you should be able to live a lot longer, especially Vulcans, etc.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Jasper Jedi, though, throws in $10 Canadian. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Love that there's now a Discord. I was hoping this would be one of the changes that was coming. I just hope the story is well thought out for season 3 and makes sense for the established characters from TNG.
I like
sense is good, and yes, giving them a good send-off and just treating them properly. Absolutely. And as for the Discord, yes, if you're a member, you can go join the Trekyards official fleet Discord fleet, and hang out with us on Discord.
It's the real Discord.
Yes, it's the official Trekyards one. There is another one, but that's been around for a long time. This is the new one. That's a
confusing thingy-mabob.
Yeah, happens.
Yes. But yeah, this was, you know, I like... Wait, hold on, what's happening there? Get that thingy off. Now, I know there's a bit of fan thing about how, you know, 5 years before 2290, she was in Wrath of Khan. So whatever rank she was in that, from that to captain in 5 years.
Well, it makes sense. She's a protege of Spock. She's very dedicated. I think that's fine.
But that does make her the youngest captain in history and far beats Kirk's rise to captaining by a significant margin. I can't remember if she was a cadet in Star Trek 2 or if it was...
No, she wasn't. She was a lieutenant.
Yeah, see, that's what always throws you, because it's a cadet... It's training crews. Some are cadets, for sure, but I remember being a higher rank, but I can't think of what it... Like, the Memory Alpha doesn't give a rank, which is a bit silly. I know, but a Pips is lieutenant. But lieutenant to captain is super fast. I mean, she skipped lieutenant commander, captain... Just, I mean, like I say, fast. I mean, we talk about Kirk in 09. That's probably got to be if not one of the fastest promotions in history of Trek. I mean, she did spend 0 time as second in command. But honestly, the vibe I get from that is literally that she was literally skipped from lieutenant commander into captain. Like she was a commander only in as much as she already proved she could do all the jobs, and subbed like her command style was so strong she didn't need to second in command. She was straight to captain. Maybe it's bold. Or I wonder if that devalues the black captain in TNG, who's also meant to be like the youngest captain in history, because Savik might make that wrong.
They just get younger and younger. It's fine. They just replace the last youngest one. It's fine.
Yeah. But I don't like, you don't know how old Savik is in the movies. As a Vulcan, I would be fine if she was actually in her 40s in Star Trek 2 or 50s and she did stuff beforehand. Personally, I would find that acceptable. I mean, Tuvok had because the actor, of course, filmed his scenes in the past at his same age. He looked the same from his youthful time on the Excelsior and also Voyager looked the same. So if they can look the same from a Wrath of Khan generation to a Voyager generation and look identical, Savik could be in his 60s and you wouldn't know anything of it. Of course you wouldn't. So the Vulcan logic there is super... Which, in fact, I mean, if Tuvok was on the... if Tuvok was on the Excelsior and then on Voyager, of course Savik can be... And Savik's younger than Tuvok? About the same. But he didn't age at all. So, Savik would, of course, be still in Starfleet. Like, Tuvok is the test case.
Yeah.
I doubt the 30 years of difference will make any difference to Vulcan life. So, yeah, of course she's still in Starfleet. And, get Robin Curtis back. Do it.
Yeah, I'd be totally down with seeing her reprise the role, for sure.
Super random. But I'm fine with that. What do you guys think? I actually want to know what your opinions are, because it is somewhat of a radical thing to add. New flagship, new Titan, 3 years as a flagship as well, because the B was launched as flagship, so it's the shortest lived flagship as well. How do you feel about that then? Only 3 years.
It's fine. That's what a flagship. It's the replacement for the Enterprise, right? So 3 years is fine. I have no problem with that at all. I'd be happy to be a captain of a flagship for 6 months, just as long as you could say you were the flagship captain. So,
yes, that's fair.
Eric Skelton, $5. There wasn't this much enthusiasm for any of Discovery, Picard 1 or 2, or Strange New Worlds, which I love. New Corporate Strategy or Metalis Strategy. Both, plus winning over the critics who got sneak peeks, I think is a big play as well.
Didn't do that for any other shows.
Exactly, yeah. So Metalis knows what he's doing. I hope he's in charge of future projects, honestly, because he seems to have what it takes.
Although we haven't seen the new season yet. This is all based on hype. So again, keep a chill lid on that, because we don't actually know. But if you can convince the entire TNG cast to come back and budget it effectively, because remember, Worf was meant to appear in Discovery, Michael Dorn, and he was going to get paid significantly less than he's ever been paid pretty much for Worf. And he's like, why would I even do this? I got paid more for a short movie appearance. Like, I've done more work in this than Nemesis. Why would I come back for that?
Well, remember when season 2 started at Picard and we were getting all this stuff blasted on Twitter by like Dave Blast, like throwing all this stuff. We were like, yeah, it's awesome. Look at this fleet. Look at the ships, blah, blah, blah. And then very quickly, we as Trekyards kind of went, it's really awesome.
But it's because it was very awesome, Stuart. It was very awesome. It was.
I know.
We reached the peak instantly. And
so
then...
if they keep it up for season 3, we'll be there the whole time being like, yeah.
Yes. But obviously you can tell they knew they weren't confident with the season, so they wanted all the best press at the start. Because it doesn't matter how many cool images you put out there, if no one's liking the season, you just whatever it. But if you blast everything at the start, you're more likely to get views at the start, and then they'll peter off as they did. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, Razzle, the name that shall not be said. Your name. Razzle, a name you should not.
Stupid Dazzle.
Just Stu. He is not Stu. He never. What's the Vulcan quote? Will it for always be? Never and will never be your Stu. There you go. That's what I was going for.
Okay.
But 118 votes to the poll. Fantastic. How do you feel about the Enterprise F being decommissioned in Star Trek Picard? Only 57%, I would say. Nope, want to see it fly. And 43, I'm fine with it. Interesting.
A lot of people don't like the design, to be fair. So
yeah, well, it looked nice in the 12 seconds of trailer. I mean, they did it. You know, it'll obviously look nicer than the game because it's rendered high end. You know.
Yeah. All right. 167 of you here, which is amazing, guys. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button. We need to get up to 150 likes. We're at 127, so show your support. Keep the super chats coming. Again, as I said, we are doing awesome. We just want to hear from you guys. That's the most important thing about this. We are very excited to go into this season. Hopefully, they don't give us a reason to regret that. From what I've heard, that's not going to be the case. So, but we're going to judge it on a episode by episode basis, see where they go, and if they can impress us the entire time, well, then we'll at the end of the season we'll give them the kudos that they're due.
Yeah, I mean we were fair and honest with season 2, and yet Tome Tower's still sharing our Titan vids as Dave Blass, so you know, doing well. I guess we're sort of closing out with this Titan stuff. What did you think of me when you read Horizon? Do you think of Little?
No, I didn't.
Damn.
Until I read it this time.
I need to watch it more. I need to make more films just for you, so it solidifies in your brain, Stuart.
Right.
Because it's cool. Although, what's an exoport?
I don't know.
Maybe it's Exocomp's cousins.
Maybe it's what the exocomps plug into. I don't. There you go.
Yep. Okay, cool. One extra in this many set of logs. Or is that pretty much it with the ship stuff? We talk about everything else. Because for the most part, the Enterprise logs was just what we knew. The character stuff was what we knew, and things we didn't know, but they've been said in interviews, like what's his name, LaForge being a Commodore, etc. Like we knew that because they showed it.
Yeah. What else has there been revealed? Not too much. There is some information about the new Titan, which we should.
No, Eric, I didn't. It was about Discovery, not the Strange World bit. There's a slight delay in Stuart and me, etc.
Oh.
Yes.
Well, we still got to talk about the new Titan because there's quite a bit revealed about that in this one. So. Yes.
The new Titan, you say?
Indeed, I do say.
What do you think of that then, Stuart?
Well, let's get it up on screen so I can read it first, and then we will go over it. Squadron course, $2. Can't stay. Work. Hi all.
Oh.
Click like. Laters. See you later. Good to see you.
This is very large text.
Could probably get rid of that. We'll get it set up and we'll read it for you guys. But in the meantime, hit like. We need another 11 likes to get to 150. And yeah, hopefully you guys are excited as we are for this because, man, it's only tomorrow or tonight, depending on where you are.
I mean, yeah, many time zones can stay awake. I mean, I guess I could in theory, but I also need to be awake early to do all of the other work because I have lots to do. Indeed. Well, we assume I have. We don't actually know. But I think people know.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Stuart?
All right. So we got here the NCC 80102A, the Titan 3 class, or the Constitution 3 class, which I hate. Referred to in Starfleet slang as the Neo-Constitution class, this new Titan is primarily an exploratory vessel honoring the retro design of the Constitution Class 2, launched in 2402. Under the command of Captain Liam Shaw, work began on a refit using the original Titan space frame. However, with the development of cutting-edge technology, the Titan's design changed mid-construction and a new ship took form. As per tradition, Starfleet engineers affectionately designed it as a refit, having kept much of the original Titan's internal components. The Constitution 3 was designed to cater to a close support envelope at sublight speeds, namely in or around densely populated solar systems. As witnessed by the overpowered impulse engines, to date, the new Titan has the largest sublight power to geometry ratio in the fleet. There you go. Lots of information about the Titan. You got the answer that it's, which I didn't expect, that it would use some of the Luna class guts or space frame to essentially be a refit. They did the same thing with the Stargazer, though, which I hated. The Stargazer, the writers said that it had the original Stargazer.
But that was just some offhand thing. They didn't say space frame. They just sort of, they waved it as a, oh yes, it's the original ship. But this at least it sort of,
which is dumb.
Yeah, but at least this actually has a reason. I mean, sorry, you're still talking. This is quite dense, isn't it? Really, it's because we were wondering why it looks so different to the other Titan, but called a refit, because that's what they were calling it.
Yeah. I also hate the Neo Constitution class though, and Constitution 3. Like, it's close enough to Constitution class design, I guess, but it just annoys me.
I already think that it's now officially canonized. Well, if this is, it's a side material, but if it's canon, it makes the Enterprise refit officially a Constitution 2 class. That's what that is now. This being the Constitution 3.
What year did they say the Constitution class? To 2402.
No, that's the 3. The retro design Constitution 2, because that's going to be the refit, isn't it? Because the Constitution class is the original Connie, so Connie. Oh no,
it could be the one that was in Star Trek Online as the new Constitution class.
Well, I mean that's super. I mean that's super not canon. I think we can call it the 2 is the refit. I think that's.
I wouldn't say that. It's a Constitution
but
refit.
It says the retro designs of the 2. There's so many refit elements here. That design is not meant to look retro. Themselves look similar. Second hull looks similar. I mean that, like I say, that phaser ball turrets, the Aztecing, Stuart. I think that's clearly what they're trying to say here. That's the refit. So I'm saying, if that's what they mean, Stuart, how do you feel now the refit is called the Constitution class 2? Because the refit class isn't really.
Hate it. Still fucking hate it. If anything, this should be the Shangri-La class 2, because the original Shangri-La class, which the original Titan was, looks exactly like this design. So to call this design the Constitution class 3 is incredibly stupid, because the original. The shapes that it's designed after are the Shangri-La class. So calling it the Constitution class is just for all the plebs out in the audience that don't understand the nuances of starship design. It looks like a Constitution class. It looks like the movie era. Therefore, you know what? It's the new Constitution class. It's bullshit. Because it looks exactly like the Shangri-La class did when there was still the refit existing in the timeline. So it's,
but in fairness, we've not seen the official Shangri-La in canon yet, so I mean, we haven't seen that yet. We might never see it on the show. They just talk it, they mentioned it, but they haven't technically shown it.
Well, I'm right. I'm right, 'cause I'm the captain. So there we go. End of discussion. I hate it. Since you were asking my opinion, I gave you my opinion.
I think it's fine. I think it's kind of like, it's nice to have a name class to the refit. Because you can't call it the Constitution class refit class. There's nothing there for that. But they also have to make fresh builds. So that's now and it's such a different ship. That makes a lot of sense to me calling those two class, 2 and 1. 3 is just, I think it's symbolic of what the hell's the Shangri-La class? Who knows? It's tiny. They want to say, hey, symbolically, this is the next of the legacy. You say Constitution class 3, you think the legacy of the Enterprise doing what it does. Shangri-La class, you're thinking fighting with the Klingons, given these logs. So I think it's symbolic of that's what we're trying to do mission profile wise. We're being a Connie of this modern era. I think there's more to that literally than that. That's what I take from it. What do you guys think?
Yeah, let us know your thoughts, guys. I mean, if it has design elements of the Constitution class, it makes sense for it to be updated the Constitution class. Seems a bit fair to call it that. Stupid. It doesn't. Oh, for fuck's sake. Okay, where is it? I need to calm myself. Did you see the Shangri-La class? No, because nobody understands what a Shangri-La class is.
Yes, we are ship guys. We do know.
Thanks. There's the Shangri-La class. That is a contemporary of the refit Constitution class. The Titan looks exactly the same. Therefore, why is it called the Constitution 3 class? Because this wasn't called the Constitution 3 class. This was the Shangri-La class back in the movie era.
Well, that wouldn't have been the Constitution class anything, because it's the same. That wouldn't have been Connie anything.
I'm aware.
Yeah, I'm just, yeah.
I'm frustrated, and I want to kill myself. That's a bit harsh.
But I do appreciate significantly the fact that they say, hey, my renders. The fact they say the original space frame of the Titan, and then mid-construction it changed, because we were wondering, like I said, why this to this? So I can imagine, like in my mind's eye, this thing originally had underslung cells, different deflect, like it had those components, and then the impulse. I mean, I think they're implying the impulse engines. That'd be my assumption. We like someone said, Jeff, yeah, 6 giant impulse engines. What? Tuesday, huh? Redesign Monday, like that, right? So. Like the whole thing, like I've never seen a ship that was actually changed its entire profile mid-construction, and then I assume the upper slung nacelles because the impulse profile they took the most modern nacelles. Stargazer fine. That's that simple. So I really like that. It allows you to kind of have the logic of it. You know, I think that's listening to fans. You know, why is this? Well, it made a big confusing. Shift, because also it occurred to me, if this is a Constitution 3 class, then there would have to be a USS Constitution 3. There would have to be, because there's always a namesake of the class. There kind of has to be, right?
Yeah.
But that's not really a class name. But it's not like it was meant to be a Titan refit / new version, and then was changed to this, so there is no like class because it is the first of the class, but it's not a designed class. It's kind of like a, let's try something different. You know what I mean? So I kind of like it's not a Titan class. It's Connie 3. Like, that's stylistically what we're going for. Do you know what I mean? Because there should be otherwise a Connie 3, but it's a refit, but it's not a refit, it's a change. You know what I mean? Like, I like the slight muddledness of it. It kind of explains why there isn't a this, there's a that.
Yeah, I suppose, but I don't know, man.
Because would you agree there should be a Constitution 3 USS?
Well, there should be. That's the logic.
But if this was the first one built, it was going to be a Titan. They're not going to re-register it Connie 3. They're going to keep it Titan. But it's not a Titan class because there's... I don't know. It wasn't designed that way. I mean, it could have been a Titan class. That would have been fine.
Yeah, it's fine that it's called the Constitution Class 3. I don't know why I'm making such a big deal about it. I should just let it be its thing. Terry Metalis, you did a good job. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, but there you go. It's cool to have reasons, and I really hope they now design like what it used to look like before the shift, like what was the underslung Titan refit before it became this. Like that's what I'm just seeing. Like it got shifted. Like
because it went from like the Titan to this, which doesn't make much sense.
Yeah, which is great. Or at least like I want to see it like strip out the like I can imagine it might have been like the source was in the neck like the Titan. The nacelles were underslung. They were different nacelles. They were like an E nacelles or whatever. Like that's story stuff, right? Or maybe in a flashback. I mean, who's to say there might be some scene of thing. Dave Collins shows here, Stuart. A little bit late for mentioning you. That was a while ago.
Oh,
hello.
We were just talking about you. Yeah, good to see you.
We said your positive review with your stronger opinions that are well thought out equal probably more trustworthy than random site with random person with random views.
Yeah, I really appreciated your 2 videos on this season. So
I haven't watched either because I don't know anything. Like synopsis have been posted, Stuart. I don't want to read them. Don't tell me the names of the episodes. I don't want to know that. Good to see you.
But yeah, good to see you. I didn't know you were. Well, glad you're in our chat. That's awesome.
Maybe you should go on Trekyards sometime. Have you got a face? Does a face appear? Or is it animated face?
It's always animated.
Are you a living animation? Can you not move?
How is this even a thing?
Yes.
No, I don't have a coffee cup.
Yes. Well, haha.
There you go. How is this even a thing?
Yes.
Anyway,
Come on, Trek. You should come on Trekyards and maybe you can review episode 6 with us when we review episode 1, and we'll talk at cross purposes because you'll know episode 6. It's like that doesn't make sense, Dave. That doesn't. Yeah.
Anyway,
Harry Potter guy. Well, fine. Yes.
All right, 151 likes. We did hit the 150 goal, which is awesome. Keep the super chats coming though, and if you're not a member of the channel, consider clicking that join button. We have just updated all of our ranks, member privileges. So
yes, and Sean says I can also see them kit bashing this stuff together. If they need rapid starship put together, so maybe this Titan was a. Well, I mean, there are cells for sure. Maybe there's pieces that they just sort of pulled together to like get her out there. Maybe.
Yeah. And Dave Cullen showed no, we did not have the screeners. We kind of avoided them / didn't apply for them.
Yeah.
And we wouldn't want them anyway. We kind of like the week to week. We like to speculate and guess. So.
Yeah, it's not like we didn't know people we could have asked, but we didn't even know there were screeners happening. We could have asked after the fact, but like we like doing the week by week reviews. It's kind of part of what we do. So if we'd seen all 6, we'd have to actively be sort of lying for 6 weeks, and that'd feel weird, and all the excitement would be like, yeah. So no. Yeah. It's kind of I'm enjoying. Going to be enjoying part of the ride.
Yeah, for sure. So we almost enjoy the waiting week to week better. So.
We like the predictions. I mean, we haven't done prediction videos for a while. There might very well be prediction videos again. Because there wasn't anything to predict for a while on the 2 Trek shows.
Yeah. George Bangram, member for 23 months at the rank of lieutenant. The Stargazer was the first Sagan-class ship. So I guess they gave us on naming the first ship after the class.
Where do we know it's the first?
They gave up on naming.
But where do you know it's the first Sagan? I have not heard that.
Well, it was listed as the Sagan class, I believe.
But there could easily be a USS Sagan. I mean, there must be something.
That's what I mean. Yeah, there should be a USS Sagan. So, how do you know the Stargazer was the first of the class?
Yes, I'd like to know.
That's what I don't understand.
But also, the same logic would apply in that we did just say that if it was changed mid construction, because if you take an original Stargazer into that, it's not at all the same. So if they also changed in some way, then maybe yes, again, same thing. If a ship was modified, redesigned midway through, then they don't do a ship of the name class. Because most ships, I assume, go from drawing board to finished with an intention. And besides, the Stargazer class feels a bit odd. I don't know.
Yeah, honestly, it baffles my mind how this Titan turned into this, considering they were partway through a refit when they decided to.
Well, I mean, it did say that. Didn't it say the Titan was damaged heavily? Didn't Riker? I think that Riker said in that log. So if this thing was trash, like it says its cells were broken, its source was ripped apart, like you're already going down to the space frame anyway, then like it wasn't decommissioned, it was trashed.
Yeah, I suppose.
Like you'd definitely change the cells. I mean, the secondary hull isn't a million miles away. I don't know about the scaling. I can find out about the scaling, but I haven't done that yet. We'll do that when we start seeing the episodes, because I have the real scale. I obviously have a fan model of both. But it's, the fact is, if fans can accept the refit and the Connie. Yeah, fans can accept the refit and the Connie are the same ship, despite having entire different dimensions. which means the thing had to be entirely ripped apart and entirely new assembled on top. Like, it's a different ship, but it might have some internal bones at the same. Like the corridors, there were no 2S corridors left. It's not, you know what I mean? Like it's really not the same ship, but it's the same ship. So if we can accept that, you know, you can tell that the it says the affection call it a refit. Like, you know, 82% different, still a refit because we love the word refit.
Yes,
we love calling things refit.
Implies a link to something else that we love.
Yes, exactly. Even if it's almost entirely different.
Yes.
Yeah. So there's some wiggle room here that I like, right? There's a bit of, it isn't cut and dry. It isn't just Bosch this into this Bosch. It is, and it also isn't a case of this ship Titan A was a super deliberate. Let's go retro, right? It was an altered design, so maybe there's something to be said for the sleeker mission profile, the sleeker design of a refit era that works with high end impulse drives. Maybe there's a slight form for his function. Isn't like it wasn't intentionally built to be retro. There was something else there. You mean?
Yeah.
Which there's a bit, like I said, wiggle room, which I like. Just a bit.
Trekyards like it's a defit, not a refit.
Yeah.
Chronosaur 417 throws in $5. Thank you so much. Didn't set photos on the ready room show a ship model of a Constitution class USS Titan that existed before the Luna.
Oh, Constitution class, but
no, it's the Shangri-La class.
Yes.
Yes. George Mangrum, $5. Seven said to Picard that the Stargazer was the first of a new class of ship. So?
I mean, yeah, that might have been... Because you can also have the NX Sagan. First of a new class could mean the first NCC. The first fresh build. Because the original could have been something else. That doesn't quite tell me... It's the first version designed of this class. I don't think that's watertight. What do you think, Stuart?
Yeah, I don't think it's... I think it's just... she could have been wrong. She could have also been just misspoke. Who knows? Because it doesn't make sense. And also... There would have to be USS Sagan. That was the first one.
Yeah. And also, Seven isn't quite as precise as she used to be in her language. Borg 7, verbatim, right? What she says is rule. No, she says things now.
What was I going to do here?
Oh God, yeah, Eric. I mean, if we can accept that the Stranger Worlds Enterprise is also the Connie, that the Connie can go from the cage to the Stranger Worlds back to the Connie and be the same frickin' ship, this damn thing can be the Titan to the Titan.
Say that again. I must have missed something at the beginning of that. What are we talking about?
If the Eric says, if we can accept that the Cage Connie refits into the Stranger Worlds Connie and then back into the Prime Connie, we can bloody accept the Titan is into the Titan, because that shit is freaking everything is different, 100%. There's nothing of it left, clearly.
Totally agree with you on that one.
And we have a stupid precedent set, and then refit to the refit. Yeah. Oh
yes. If you accept these things, that's what happened with the Stranger Worlds Enterprise, then
magic, Stuart.
You gotta consolidate in your head some way. It has to be.
Because thing is, if that refit got refitted and unrefitted, what part of the ship is 40 years old? The nacelles aren't 40 years old, because that shit was different for the Stranger Worlds version. The bridge is different. It's all different, Stuart. What bit's 40 years old exactly? Because 40 years old is from the Cage. It's not from Stranger Worlds.
The Scorch.
Scorch? The Gorch? The Klingon ritual?
No, the Scorch. The oldest plate that's on this very front of the saucer.
That was from Stranger Worlds, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was, yeah. It's the Scorch. That's what the oldest part is.
So that Admiral is being super technical. Enterprise old. That one plate
makes sense. Where that is got totally taken out with that photon torpedo that got lodged in the hull. So that wouldn't have been the oldest part of the ship.
Oh, yeah.
They even fucked up their own stuff. So.
Oh.
I know. It's groan worthy, man. We talked about that at the time.
It's just ignore Stranger Worlds. Enjoy for stories. Ignore that whole side note, right? Just Discovery and Stranger Worlds. It's basically a JJ verse. Just its own thing, right?
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I like Stranger Worlds. Don't get me wrong, but
that's a great also point because you can't have both. But if it didn't get blown up, I love the idea the Admiral said he was so technical. He's like, Jim, that one plate on the Enterprise is 40 years old. Just redub it. Okay, it's like, yes, but our ship is 20 years old.
The space frame's 20 years old, but that one plate is 40 years old. We feel its time is over.
but the instructions went through wrong. They thought they meant to take the plate off. In fact, the whole thing was getting undone.
There you go.
But that's God, yeah. And I'm gonna go to the toilet because that just boiling my bladder. That is. That's great. Now, guys, let us know in the chat right now. So we get a spam of people. Do you like this being a refit of the Titan? Do you accept it based on other things? Go. Vote, talk, say.
Yes. Yeah. That should maybe be a poll. Do we have the poll option? Start a poll. Do you buy Titan A is a refit of Rikers? There you go. Yes or no? All right, there's the new poll. Go vote on it, guys. Hit that like button if you haven't already. And thank you for joining us, all 153 of you. We want to hear your thoughts, so please chime in with anything you guys want to talk about. What are you excited for leading up to season 3 of Picard? What is going to turn your crank, as it were? Let us know your thoughts. We will read all the super chats on the air, as we always do. But yeah. Understood it being a refit of the original Titan, not Riker's Titan from the log, but maybe I misunderstood. Oh, that could be the case, Matthew. It could be the case. Let's see what we got here. Shangri-La class launched in 2019. Captain Savik, known for multiple encounters with the Klingon Empire, including the Exoplanet takeover, the Horizon Colony rescue, and the Titan became Starfleet's flagship under the recognition of Captain Sulu. The Excelsior, the Titan was instrumental in maintaining frontier stability before the Khitomer Accords and the subsequent launch of the Enterprise B. I think that part about the refit, because of Captain Savik and Riker, the Titan's legacy was continued with a brand new starship, one that would retain the registry. But now it's the A designation in honor of the starship. Yeah, I don't know what to say about that necessarily. It seems a little odd that they would refit the old Shangri-La class Titan. But makes a lot more sense at the same time. So let's see.
Hello.
Yeah. So Matthew DeFrida says, I understood it being a refit of the original Titan, like Savik's.
No.
Not Riker's Titan from the log.
Nope.
But maybe I misunderstood.
Yep. Nope. They say the new Titan gets decommissioned, pulled from service, and the space frame done. They're not going to put a space frame for a ship that's been out of service for like 50 years to refit, and then also up the scale. It's way bigger than that. No, they meant the Titan. It's also it's namesaking off that. No, it's not that Titan. This Titan. Yeah, it's in sections, that log. So it's kind of like the old stuff is old, new stuff is new. Yes.
Trying to see if there's something more specific.
But yes,
work began on the refit. Okay, work began on the refit using the original Titan space frame. However, with the development of cutting-edge technology, the design changed mid-construction, and now the ship Now a new ship to form.
Yeah, and because they talk about the impulse engines, it's clear that's what they're implying. That's clearly it's one thing. Terry said previous otherwise. Doug said it's like it's a fastest impulse ship. So clearly, it was given new impulse tech, and they had to then change the ship design to do that. Hence the very very odd. And they just threw on Titan nacelles, Stargazer nacelles to be to simplify it a bit. And I mean, I could see, there's a slight logic that, if they wanted this fast removable ship, the E's not going to make it, the D's not going to make it, Voyager really would, but it wouldn't have space for impulse drives in the design. So if you're going to go back to a more classic try and test design style of this era, you know exactly what it'll do, styling to the warp profile, the impulse profile. If it's not designed for anything except the impulse drives, then that would be its purpose, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Thomas says, then again, the 1701 a refit? Scotty himself said the Enterprise had just gone through an 18-month rebuild. No, 18 months of redesigning and refitting, is what he says. And it was basically torn down to the space frame, so it's the framework of the ship, and then built back up.
I mean, it really is a different ship. It's just
it is
using the frame. Because I would assume this new Titan uses like some of the saucer configuration, room scaling, right? Like, they use the turbolift network for some of it, and the computer core network for some. Some of the room like basic stuff. I mean, the shuttle bay is the same. Like stuff like that. More of just a case of what don't we need to reinvent the wheel of. It's like, even though I never quite got it in film and TV production, it's cheaper to entirely repaint and redetail a wooden wall than to build a new wooden wall. That's why because to repaint the Enterprise D transport room for Star Trek 6, you got to repaint it back, like you got to rematch it again. Why wouldn't you just build a new simple room, right? Like, you're damaging a set, but that's cheaper because I guess there must be something with the foundations that, why does it cost less money to entirely rip something down? Or like look wise, you know what I mean? I never quite got that money wise.
I don't either. Same thing they did with the Excelsior for the Enterprise B. They just slap shit on it to make it look like a different ship.
Well, that was different because they weren't going to reuse it. That was like, we can trash it, it's fine. Like, that's the last time.
Well, no, they attached those boat parts hoping that they could come off without damaging the hull. But the glue they used totally damaged the Excelsior hull.
I mean, that's a little different because to build that costs way more to build a room. Like,
I know, but I'm just trying to...
Yeah, that I think would be a little bit different. But that is misplanned. Plus, I know they were trying to save money. Like, that was just that definitely is a shoving stuff on. Plus, obviously, we know that they had a specific story beat of the tendril hitting a place. So there was also a thematic building a whole new model with a cavity versus building a cavity on top of a model. Like, there is a logic to that is
But so they could cut out that damaged section of the tendril and not affect the original model.
Yes.
Which was underneath.
Yes. Which is great.
Hellrats96 puts in $5. Thank you so much. I don't like that Worf looks so old. He looks too old. His Klingon, their lifespans are much longer. He doesn't look old. He just has white hair. That's the only thing that's changed.
Yeah.
He does not look like an aged Klingon. He just let his hair turn white for some reason.
Some people have, Marcus has mostly dark hair at 47. That's quite late for a man. To have like almost no grey. Beard, yes, but like mane hair. Some people go grey in the 30s. It's incredibly varied.
Bald. So.
Or no hair, yeah, for sure. So that's not the grey hair is not a fair metric. It's more a case of does his face look significantly older? And I mean, bloody hell, actor man looks phenomenal. Can't remember his name again, but
and Captain Michael Dorn.
Yeah, amazing.
Picard Maneuver says, hope you guys can get Terry or Dave Glass on to talk about some of these things after the show debuts.
Yep. Not a problem.
it's not honorable to dye your hair. I guess not. I guess so. When Klingons are at war, they shave their heads.
Ooh.
When they're at peace, they don't do anything, and when they're in transitional states, they dye it white. I guess.
Or just don't dye it black.
Bleach it.
Yeah, maybe Stuart. Ready for this?
Here we go. This will be good with that lead up.
Yeah. As we know, Stuart, not all Klingons are warriors. That man had white hair. Lovely white hair. And he's a lawyer. And of course, Worf is now more of a pacifist. So maybe warriors who want to maintain on the war foot, maintain dark hair. But those Klingons with whiter hair are known for the less warlike stance. That's actually really simple. Actually, that's a really easy way of explaining that. And then batshit crazy people like the guy that died in DS9, he's like fucking dark white. I'm crazy. What's his name?
Died in DS9, crazy guy.
Yeah, the guy that went crazy. The TOS guy brought back and then went crazy. That guy.
Oh, Kang?
Yeah, like he had dark, you know, he had some grey, some black, but like crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's odd to think no Klingons can have grey. Like we all vary. Like it's fine, right? It's fine.
It's fine.
Yeah.
He doesn't look too old.
He also may have had one mission where a mission kill was like pigment in his hair molecule. Like it's fine. Like stuff happens in between. Why has Riker still got dark hair? Like he should be full white, right? Really? He's older than Worf.
The only
two about that, are you?
The only two that really look old to me, honestly, are Troy and Beverly. They look like shit, both of them, compared to the guys. Relatively
Paul Patrick looks pretty bad, but he's also the oldest.
Well, exactly. Yeah.
And it's funny because Gates obviously went grey years and years ago, and she re-dyed her hair black for this, but kept the blonde highlights, which gives her a cool look. But she was full grey. She'd been, you know, it's like Terry Farrell. She's been grey for ages, and it's always fun to see her been back with dark hair. It's like, but you looked old 2 years ago. Oh, you look better now. It's weird. But Boaty says, I don't have a problem with him saying it's a refit, but I don't understand the A designation. The Enterprise refit didn't get an A designation.
That's a very good point, actually. That's why I think the Sao Paulo being renamed the Defiant should have got the A. But the Titan, if it got destroyed...
It got trashed, yeah.
Well, trashed, then I can see, you know, it's the A. It's fine.
Because the Connie, like, it was fine. It came home and
Connie
was
still in perfect health when it rolled in. It was just outdated.
It was a test bed for refits. They probably didn't think it was going to take 18 months. They probably thought, we'll do some stuff. Wow, 2 years passed. Well, damn. Yeah. But I'm sure the thing got trashed. Now, you would possibly then say, well, the E post-Nemesis, that got pretty trashed. At least, well, the Saucer did. That didn't get it was F. But, of course, if the Saucer is not the entire ship. So I assume Titan got very trashed, you know. Because if it's so trash it basically can't fly anymore, yeah, it's basically a new ship, but with small parts. Yeah.
Yeah. What were we talking about? The cast looking old.
It was I mean, it's refit stuff, and then looking older or not. Yes. But yes, Hellraz has a great comment. Super chat comment. Aha. That's the name I was trying to think of. Thank you.
Hellraz96 puts in $2 and says, Worf must be the Steve Martin of Klingons.
Yes. That's what I was thinking of.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Out of all those pictures, though, like the two women are the worst.
I think Gates looks fine for the most part.
Have you seen her lately? Like she's skin and bone.
Well, she put on weight for this role though. Like Frakes, he lost weight. He looks thinner than he's ever looked for years.
Yeah, Frakes looks good.
Gates did look a lot, like I say, more thin years, like 3 or 4 years ago. I think she looks more balanced now. And Marina, it's odd because she's obviously wearing the wig from Nemesis, so the hair color he's of a much younger woman. I think that's part of, like, there's no grey, there's no, that might be part of the whatever. But it's funny in the podcast that Michael Dorn did, the Reed actor, he said the famous quote, "Black don't crack." So I'm quoting him because black men tend to just do not age in a way that white men or other ethnicities do. I mean, they both look superb to the point where it's like, really, you're that old? So yeah, they'll be lasting a lot longer than we will, vibe wise. That's why. I mean, give those to a show. Perfect. I mean, they would be a fun duo, actually. A strange duo, but a fun duo. I loved there was one brief behind the scenes bit where we saw Michael Dorn, because I assumed all this was facial, like, additional hair as Worf, and he was Michael Dorn just with this. I was like, oh, is that real hair then? Or he just didn't take it off as part of the makeup to do the interview, because it was like weird to see him without this and just with it was a pretty bold, like, a pretty cool goatee. It's very full. But I don't know if it's real or not, because he's a man that has a shaved face sort of guy.
I think it's weird too, because it also goes all the way across, whereas before it didn't. Yeah, it was like absent under the nose, it was just the sides.
Yes, yeah, it's a different look. It's not the same facial hair styling that we know. But I guess you could argue with Frakes, like, he obviously can't grow as full a beard. Like, that's a much wispier beard than he was 30 years ago. That's fine.
Yeah. Anyway.
Side says if they melt down the raw materials to build a new Titan A, does that count? No.
Yeah, somebody earlier mentioned breaking down its constituent parts and then putting it back in the replicator to make a new ship. Therefore, it's a new ship.
Yeah, that's a crazy thing. I don't think I've ever met Gates. I met everyone else. Don't I think? Oh wait, no, have I? I've done so many conventions, Stuart, and so many of them, especially where I work with Trekyards, is like, right, get the signs for Trekyards, quick, okay, I'm done, and then walk away, and I sort of forget who I've met a little bit without a specific memory, like, to grab me. I'm saying I think I actually have met. Oh, there's my picture of Gates. I have met her. There it is. It's out of focus. Damn you, photographer. Well, that's annoying. I had a huge spot there. It sucks. And she was going grey at the front, but still dark at the back. It's 2018, so that was 7 years ago. Goodness, Stuart. Goodness. While ago.
Throw your picture in there so we can see it. Let's see. Hell Rats 96 puts in $5. Part of me wishes we got LeVar Burton for a command series as him being captain of the Challenger. I love that he's a Commodore.
Skip now. Captain.
Yeah, it's like. Yeah. Either skip captain or wasn't captain very long.
But what's he going to be captain of? Like, that I think for him kind of makes sense. He's there to be a high-end job man in a role at a place. He's not there to explore and do cool things. Like, no, I'm one of, you better make me, Commodore of Starfleet, whatever. That's my job. I want it. Okay. We'll make you captain for like 2 months, and then the quickest promotion from captain is Joy Forge. Although he was an ensign, wasn't he, in Farpoint, and then a commander by season 3.
Yeah.
Always was junior grade.
I think that's one of those things where when you get the position, you have to rank up. Like.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So it's a kind of skip a thing. Maybe that's what happened with Savik too.
Mm-hmm. They wanted to be on the Titan and made her. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
But did we complain that Geordie was upranked at the time? Well, I wasn't alive, so no. Nope. But also, did you notice in your 12-inch monitors? Did anybody really notice his rank was different? Really?
Yes, they refer to him as his rank many times.
Yeah, but people miss things, Stuart. People miss things.
No, they don't.
Well, okay then.
Let's see. Anything else log-wise you guys wanted to talk about? I haven't really talked about any of the people's specific logs because they didn't really grab my attention.
Say much.
No, the ships did. Well, what did it say about the La Serena? Does anyone remember?
Yeah, not a lot.
That Raffi has it doing her own thing.
Yeah, which we sort of guessed from everything we've seen so far. And yes, there's me and Gates in 2018. I forgot I met her because I think it was one of those like quickly going through ones. Whereas Michael Dorn, I remember that one, and Brent I remember because that was a that was a funny awkward thing. But yes, there I am. There she is.
She still looks fairly good there.
Mm-hmm. It's also out of focus though.
Oh yeah, and she's got lots of makeup on. You can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I've picked... Oh, apart from Frakes, as we know, he's not come to the UK in like 15 years. That's a whole thing about him for that. But I met him with you like 10 minutes before the thing closed. Stupid.
Well, yeah, I can't think of anything else that was super exciting out of those logs, honestly, which is a shame.
I mean, it really is just recap stuff, and that's okay.
Yeah, I suppose so. All Rats 96 throws in another $5. Hell yeah. I didn't say command, I said continued. Also, he was captain of the Challenger in that alternate future episode of Voyager. I said command series instead of continued series. Well, yeah, I'd love to see him in another show at some point. Want to know what he's doing now? Like, is he the head commandant of the museum? The commodore of the museum? I don't know. That could be a super exciting show and also super boring show.
All depends on the story, obviously.
Plus, he's got what, 2 daughters in Starfleet? I think they said.
Yes. Yep. The real actress daughter and the new actress daughter, who's on the Titan. So, you know, got a good old role there. I'm sure that'll be, you know, a major part. Which is great. When does Picard's son show up? Well, is it? Is it not? I don't know. We don't know. There's a lot of we don't know in this. But Stuart,
we don't know.
I mean we're gonna. And in fact, in fairness, has not been spoiled yet. I mean, how many people now know at least 6 of the? I mean, 6 of the 10 is most of them. So I've not heard big spoilers. I've not looked per se, but many people do know the answers to these questions. Dave did.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that shows obviously it was well vetted. Although some of the YouTubers that got it I've never heard of, nor are their channels big.
Oh, in his second video, he says, "I saw the last 4 episodes. Don't ask me how, but so who knows? Who knows? Because I know that 6 were released as a press like thing, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Lore is a museum piece.
Huh. I mean,
it's funny, actually.
He's pretty interesting, yeah. He is pretty interesting.
Let's see. We have 175 likes. Can we hit 200 likes? Can we get another 25 likes? I don't know. If you're just joining us and haven't hit the like button, give it a like. We would appreciate that. And yeah, keep the super chats coming if possible. Wouldn't mind a few more before the end here. We did start an hour early. Hoping to go maybe 3 hours.
Well, I mean, this isn't just about the log steer, it's about the pre-party.
Yeah.
So there is also, you know, a big part of this, the season in general. Talking about, you know, what are you most excited for? What are you least excited for? Well, yeah, what are you least excited for?
What am I least excited for?
Yes.
Seeing Raffi back. Could give less than 2 squirts about her and her character, so.
Yeah, and I can't imagine there'll be, although she seems to be integrated with Riker and Worf and random man who is from Terminator Sarah Connor Chronicles. So therefore that's a big plot. So that's fine. I just wonder how direct the season is going to be. How into the main story, how wild ride versus take one episode at a time. Are we going to get... I think Patrick said that the calling upon Crusher is the first episode, so that's like straight in on the mission. But then also we see him like eating dinner at a bar and then Riker at a bar. Like, there's a few informality things as well. Yeah, I just wonder how much they're going to try and pack in. How much of the story we think we know. When will the strike show up? Is that even the real plot? Is that just a subplot? Is the real plot Crusher? She's the baddie. It's those sorts of things that because it's Terry. It feels as if they deliberately show us stuff. Who's to say it's even important, right? Versus last year, it was almost like, here's the trailer. They've gone to the past to stop this. Okay. It felt more direct in what they might show. That's what I'd say.
Well, yeah, rumor has it that the Vatic is supposed to be like a major part, but I don't know. I don't care about her story unless it's something really good.
Well, there's no reason for you to care yet. That's the thing. There's no reason yet. You haven't seen the reason.
But there's usually a good hook for a villain where you're like, oh, I'm looking forward to this. Her, she's just somebody who doesn't know how to comb her hair after Picard. It's like, oh, wow, that's awesome. Thank you. You know what I mean? I'm just not excited for that. But I'm excited around everything around it. Just having the TNG crew back is what's exciting me. But as you said, what you're least excited for, well, Raffi and Vatic, honestly, if you want to go there. But she could be really great as well. Who knows? So.
Like I said, I just like Prodigy, I will, refuse to put judgment until we see something. Because certainly nothing in the specific thing has been interesting per se, but we've not seen anything, so it's hard to, I'm trying to think, it's like, Krug, I guess he was Christopher Lloyd, but, in the trailers, I'm sure they didn't show much of him. You could argue it's just Klingon man, but there was depth in it, etc.
Yeah. Well, Howrats 96 throws in another $5. What are your least favorite design aspects of the Titan A? What would you change if you could? Honestly, I'd probably get rid of the ball turret phasers. It's a weird design choice, and it's a carryover from how Bill originally designed the ship as the Shangri-La. They're not needed in this era. But that being said, I like the ball turrets as well. So what would I change? Not much. I would maybe reduce some of the impulse engines in the back. That tends to be a sticky point for a lot of people. I personally don't think it looks that bad, but it does look a little weird having the impulse engine stacked like that. That being said, it's got the what did they say? It's the something geometry. It's something about the ship. Makes it unique and special for working in this kind of solar system, dense solar system conditions. So maybe reduce the impulse engines. That's all I can really suggest. Other than that, I like everything about it. How about you? What would you change about the design? I know you've seen the design quite a bit.
Yeah.
Titan Tuesdays and Thursdays. So.
Yeah, I spent a good couple of weeks staring at that thing.
Yeah,
it's tricky. If you're allowed to actually change it, more things. But if you need to keep it what it is and just tweak it, those are different criterion, right? I would make the texturing more like the Stargazer. That simplest change I would do. I would probably change how oddly smooth the secondary hull is. It's very not of the era, especially if that had been made more like a Voyager, something that would fit better. Then at least it would be the Saucer that's sort of refitty. That feels too refit, but smooth because it's modern. Because I know what Bill's looks like. It looks very smooth, almost too smooth. But that era is very smooth in certain ways, not most, but certain ways. And that's what I pulled from. Impulse Edges I'm fine with. I think they've got a great character. I probably would have made the Saucer slice ones bigger, just as in like thicker, just because they're hard to see unless you see them. So make them more like, I mean, it's small stuff. Plating, I would change. Window scale, I would change. Certainly the lower planetary dome, I'd make more unique, and I'd probably add more of a Enterprise E style arrangement with the quantum launcher there, because clearly it's got no. This is obviously our model, but where are the photon launchers? You know, I don't know. There's no. Is there? I don't know. There might be, but I don't. Well, okay, this is my render, but I don't remember there being like a designated, distinct photon launcher. I think I kind of like did the Titan work and then sort of zoned it from my brain because I've done stuff in between. So I kind of I've forgotten certain close-ups I've obviously stared at for weeks.
Mm-hmm. Well, it says it's got the largest sublight power to geometry ratio in the fleet, whatever that means. But I'm saying it's like the fastest ship, and it's like, well, impulse is impulse. It doesn't matter how fast impulse is because it's all the same. A lot of people have been saying that, but they're trying to make the ship special for certain reasons. I don't know. I hate that it has phaser strips and ball turrets. It's just a weird choice. Because when we first saw it, we were like, in our video, it doesn't have phaser strips by the looks of it. And we got a message from Terry saying it does have phaser strips. We're like, what? It's also got ball turret phasers as well. So it's just a weird anomaly, honestly. I don't know. I wouldn't change much about it. I like it.
Well, that's the thing. Its charm is that it's weird, right? It's not a choice most of us would have made. That said, many of the Stargazer elements are too busy, almost. I remember Doug showing a render like next to the shuttle bays, and it's like there's this giant pipe detail in it. I'm thinking, what the hell is that? And why is it open to space? But not really. What the hell is this? You know, at least this I understand almost entirely, right? I get it. I certainly wish there were things like, you know, escape pod hatches.
Well, I mean, the refit didn't have those either. They're hidden behind the paneling.
But they did this, but they maybe just didn't invent them yet, you know. I mean, those were all, was that intentional when Andy and the team designed it? Probably not. I think they weren't told to. They were told to make it clean and crisp and then to actively add something on top. I'm assuming. You know. Don't know.
Yeah. Olivia throws in $2. Keeps giving me Enterprise C vibes almost. Really? I don't see much of Enterprise C in this, honestly. But yeah, I don't know. I think by the end of the season, everybody's going to really have a new appreciation for this ship. Well, not everybody, most people. And at least that's the hope. Speaking of hope, I hope to get to 200 likes. We only need 9 more. So also make sure everybody that is here that you're subscribed to the channel and you click the notification bell icon to also don't miss any content because we have a lot of cool stuff coming out with Picard just around the corner. We've got stuff that's going to be coming out. Trust us. And also check the join button because we have changed some things with our memberships.
A few things, I think.
Yeah, so basically more content for what your membership tier is, and some really exciting, cool, interactive stuff. And at the end of every video, we'll have something really cool that you guys really enjoy if you're a member. So, consider clicking that join button.
And we do rely on the support directly, both super chats and of course the Patreon and the join the channel. All are super important. And we're going to definitely do a lot of content during the Picard season 3 and beyond, including interviews with the team that we can get. It's all stuff we want to do, but we do need that support. Super chats are a great way during the live. If you have a direct comment, we always read them out. Many YouTubers take a super chat, either do a catch-up video later without context, or ignore it entirely if they're that big. We read every single one. We're quite proud of that. Or, of course, join the channel, which is great because, I mean, you just do it, you're done. Every month, you casually have to think about it, and it helps us out. And you get a little thing by name. There's little tiny perks there as well. As I said, the new stuff as well. Or Patreon if you want to be entirely off the YouTube ecosystem, because the overlords, etc. Or PayPal if you want to give us direct support for new equipment and such, like when a mic dies, you got to get a new one, etc. And we've got better webcams if they made better webcams in the last 6 years. That's at trekyards@hotmail.com. PayPal, any amount. Some of you sometimes throw in like $10 here with a comment because it has more comment space. That's another option as well. There are lots of great ways to it, as we are doing
fantastic
lots and lots of videos, because, you know, we'll wait and see. But as you guys know, for Picard Season 1, for the first 2 episodes, it was 2 videos a day plus a live. Can you imagine how much time that took to generate that? All of the time is the answer. All of it. But we wanted to do it for you guys. Picard Season 2 was 1 a day plus bonus ones as well after the fact. Like we had Excelsior 2 stuff after, you know, like in the buffer ready once a few weeks have passed, etc. We're going to be hitting it hard and fast and deep and you know, we're going to be doing lots of good stuff on the Picard Season 3 stuff. Yes.
And on that note, Olivia throws in $5 and says, just remember, you don't like the Cerritos at first, and then it grew on you. I can't wait to see this. Hashtag justice for Julius.
Well, yeah. That's funny, because that's a big reason of why I've done the animations, to get people to see it in motion like they wouldn't until the episode. To just see it, live it, right? And lots of people have said I like it more because of them. Fantastic. You know, I would have done more for the Cerritos, but we're busy doing the shows. And Matthew DeFreitas, I work for an AV integrator, can get y'all some discounts on your tech. Well, that's interesting, because we have a trip that we need to do this year where hard drives will be a huge deal. And, you know, the scale of hard drive will be dependent on what we can do. Email trekyards@hotmail.com. We'd love to discuss. Discounts are a nice thing to have.
To say the least.
You know, yes.
And Ozzy throws in $2 and says, I love the Cerritos. Yeah. A lot of people like it now. A lot of people still hate it. That's fine, too. I can understand why people don't like the design, but, you know, it's one of those things. Aaron Waltke's here, and he says, to paraphrase Garrick, I love all ships, even the kit bashes. Even the kit bashes? Especially the kit bashes. I see what you did there.
Hi, Aaron. How's it going? Are you excited for Picard? We've already seen Picard, so dear, but you can talk about it. Okay, Aaron, give us the exclusive. How many protostars are we going to see in the first episode? Blink once if it's more than 3. Blink twice if it's more than 10. Blink 10 times if it's a copy and paste protostar fleet. Because I could buy that, you know, Colonel O, she's now a colonel for some reason. Is that promotion? I don't know. She's come to attack the Chateau Picard. There we go. And they have to send a rescue fleet. But the only ships in the quadrant are in the other quadrant. There's literally no ships in the Alpha Quadrant, Stuart. The nearest ships are in the Delta Quadrant, and it's 50 protostars. Because there's no ships in the quadrant, and there's a lot of dialogue in the script. It's like, what are you on about? And then they all just go, brrr. But 5 of them accidentally go backwards and forwards in time and create the second and third and fourth alternate universes to create even more Valna cuts, go back in time to take on the Protostar B, C, D, Titan F, all these things, and that is officially Prodigy Season 6!
No more caffeine for you. You need to stop.
Right.
Aaron Wolke responded with, they're moving really fast, so they may look like passing stars.
They are quite small. Aaron, please confirm my theory. I know you break NDAs, but is this going to happen? Tell me. You can tell me that. No one's watching.
Yes. No one's here.
Only my best 150 friends are watching. That's all.
Yeah. And we have 203 likes now, which is awesome as well. Let's close out this poll. Do you buy that this Titan A is a refit of Riker's Titan? Well, no wins at 76%. Yes comes in at 24%. So that's 164 votes as well. So, damn. Interesting. I do hope we see some older TNG ships still in service, like Galaxies and Intrepids. I do as well. However, from that fleet shot of Frontier Day, looks like there's a Ross class, which is probably the closest you're going to get to a Galaxy class, unless there's one in the museum, because we think there's a museum. Mr. Kennan says, not a Voyager fan, and as such, Prodigy is not big.
I'm a Voyager fan. Such a good...
Prodigy doesn't have much to do with Voyager, honestly. I mean, Janeway's there, but...
But if you've seen Nemesis, you know that Picard likes Janeway. I mean, you can kind of infer through that. But Voyager is such good explorative Star Trek, you know, with characters that you like. You know?
Yeah. Aaron says Prodigy is a sequel to all of Star Trek. We're just starting with Voyager and working backwards. Oof, interesting.
Oh yeah, Oberths. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I mean, maybe we, you know, they're not to say there'll be this in dialogue for sure, but there could be a situation where somebody says, "Oh, all the old ships got destroyed during the Dominion War." That's why we've lost a lot of our ship classes. You know, we did keep hearing lines in DS9. You know, the 6th Fleet is down to 20 ships from like 100. Well, they're all going to be the Galaxies, the Mirandas, the Excelsiors, the Berths, the New Orleans, you know, that stuff got blown up. So if those are all the ships you're sending out, then, you know, they might make the argument that, you know, we lost 50% of our old stock. You know.
Our old stock. That's funny.
Yes, this is what it is. Yeah.
I mean, I guess. Yeah. I guess that opens up the question to you guys out there. What are you most excited for this season of Picard? What are you most looking forward to?
Well, that's a huge question. You know, we're right there with the feeling that it's right around said corner. Are you excited for seeing more? I mean, you know, I know that the vibe of Patrick is a little bit different to how it was when he first announced coming back. You know, is Patrick, you know, Patrick Stewart, Jean-Luc Picard, is him back for another 10 episodes? Is that a big force for you? Seeing him hopefully at his best from the last 3 years, is that exciting? You know, when he's his best, he's phenomenal. You hear a lot about Frakes being really good, Gates being really good. You know, these people, etc.
Yeah. I want Picard back. And from what I've heard, that's kind of what this is. Like, he's actually feels like Picard again. So, yeah, I just want to show about Picard to actually be about Picard. That'd be kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully no, you know, incredibly depressing family stuff. Let's move forward, you know. I mean, they pretty much explicitly said, you know, he's now going to get with Laris. You know, he can move forward in love and life and get with his one true love, Laris, who he's known for a couple of years and who he definitely didn't kill, her husband, Shabon. He definitely didn't have her killed. He fancied her and he wanted her to... And he
got a thing against Northerners.
No, he just heard that Romans love twice as much when their partners die. So he's like, if I kill, if Raffi kills, Raffi, could you, before you join on the Excelsior 2, could you kill Shabon for me? Michael Shabon, the writer. No. Shabon the Romulan, not Michael Shabon.
Oh.
Just because we wrote for season 1. Ooh, Jim. Laura and Picard discussing Data's death. Yes, that's a good scene. That would be a very good scene. Because he was there when Data died, in essence. Ooh. And certainly, yeah, Laura making fun of Geordie for loving Data, etc. You know, you were the brother to Data that I never was, eh? Mr. LaForge. That could be fun. And for Brent, I mean, that's a fun thing to play. Bitterness at one of your best friends for being your most well-known character's best friend, while playing your favourite character's evil twin, who he says in his interviews is more like him than not. Because he did an interview recently, he said Law is a lot less hard to play because he's just playing an emphasis, you know, a more full-on version of himself. Data is a far more constructed character. Laura is not.
I find though that Brett. In interviews and stuff, tries to be too funny, tries to be too sarcastic all the time. It gets a little annoying. It's funny occasionally, but it's always on.
Yes.
And I don't know about you, but to me it gets a little annoying.
Well, yeah, he's definitely a witty guy. And he likes to make people laugh. He likes to self-deprecating humor a lot. But you can tell, and this is not complaints, because we've in our 8 years of the same thing. He's done conventions with everybody as they've grown, as they've got younger somehow, as new fans approach him, etc. He's told the same stories, the same jokes. He has a script in his brain of ways he can say things. You know, he can throw out the Patrick Stewart impression. He can throw out which is fine. So therefore, he has this bank of quips with actors, etc. You know,
you say that, but he does it entertainingly. And you get people like Marina Sirtis who have the same stories. And they're
that's
not
personal
good
preference,
stories.
Joe. That is personal preference.
Sure.
I'm not gonna. I mean, also, I know you're also somewhat British in a sense, but there's also the British sense of humour. It is a different sense of humour. We obviously appreciate it more. I know you like it, but maybe it's too British for you to appreciate.
No, it's just. I get your sense of humour. Trust me.
I know you do, but just not her that sense of humour.
It's just not funny. There's a difference. Anyway, Eric Skelton, $2.
Thank you so much.
Can we chisel Alex Kurtzman off that plaque? Oh yeah, that'd be great. You know, I died a little inside when I heard Jonathan Frakes at the premiere say, you know, all this new Star Trek is, you know, thanks to Alex Kurtzman. And Kurtzman was up there with them, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ.
Well, Jonathan's been there since day, one, Discovery Season 1. So he's been in the team pocket since the start. So he's been getting regular work for years now.
But everything he's touched has been good. More or less. There's one thing he directed that wasn't that great. That was the episode of Discovery, but
well, it was okay. It wasn't as bad. It was just uninspired. But script given. It wasn't a very engaging episode either.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are the bets? They'll mention the Shangri-La class in dialogue. Doubt it. But they could. I don't know if they'll. I don't know if we're going to get a history lesson. I think this kind of is the history lesson.
There could be if they do go to a museum and there's like the Titan.
That is true.
Titan class commanded by Captain Savik. Blah blah blah. On like a panel in the background or something, and you just hear it. I don't know.
No, that is very true, and we know that obviously a big hurdle for CG is having good reference, but Bill, he has orthographics, right? He has all this stuff, so building a replica wouldn't be extremely difficult, and he does have concept models. I know he's done, so would that? I mean, maybe Riker is mentioning the original Titan. Maybe he actually had an appreciation for her beforehand, and then he was on Titan, his own Titan, for maybe 15 years maximum, or so. So maybe he grew a new appreciation for the old Titan, so he appreciates it in a way that's like, there's the old girl, my namesake, because you're always going to remember your first ship as captain, and given that Riker then went on to do other stuff, that's the only ship he was ever captain of, was the Titan. There's no other Captain Riker ship. So, you want to be a captain for a very long time, that's any namesake is going to be worth something. What do you think?
I could see him going into something like that. I could see them talking with Liam Shaw about it at the table.
Ooh.
Talking about the history of the Titan. Maybe talking about Savik there.
And actually, not even just that. Maybe Riker hangs a giant lantern and is like, so Captain Shaw, your ship does look like the original Titan. A lot like the original Titan. And Shaw's like, yes, it does. There could be a literally dialogue about that, which would be kind of interesting. I mean, yeah, because my Titan's the odd one out. Riker's Titan's the weird one now of the 3 Titan family.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
I don't know. I think we might get a Savik reference. I think we might.
Yeah, I'd like to. Or can you imagine, a hologrammatical Savik appearing in Rathacon uniform to give advice? The first captain of the Titan. Eric, why does the Titan A have phaser emitters and no strips? Yes, it does. It has both. The strips are very minimal, but you can see them. You can sort of see them, but not clearly in the first trailer. But in the last trailer, when the Titan is running away from that big blue power, you can see them clearly on the hull. Yeah, it has them.
Yeah, because like we said, when the first trailer came out, we talked about it. Like, why does it have ball turrets?
And no
phaser strips.
No phaser strips.
And Terry Metalis watched our live and messages us and says, just for the record, it does have phaser strips.
Literally emailed us personally. Yeah. The thing he had to tell us, guys. Terry Metalis. That's not what he did. I'm acting here. Guys, Terry Metalis here, Sergeant Picard. She has phaser strips. We're like, really?
Tell us more.
No, Picard, who cares? Phaser strips, you say, yes? Yes, Terry? Yes. Do you want anything about the show? No. Phaser strips, keep going.
Yeah.
Do you want me to spoil the season? No, Terry. Phaser strips, keep going. But I do know the technical stuff, so I might opt for no show spoilers to learn stuff about the ship stuff.
Yeah.
Oops. We like the ship, Stuart.
That's what I've heard. Yeah.
Yes.
If they replace the ball turrets with disruptor cannons, I'd be chill with it also having strips. Okay. Maybe they are tractor beam emitters. Maybe they are point defense lasers. Maybe they are backup redundancy phasers. If the main systems go offline, use the old school systems. So you still have weapons. I don't know. Eric Martin, though, throws in $5 on a break. So listening intently with my eyes closed. Don't fall asleep. If you're just on a break, you need to get up and do things again, I assume. So, but thank you for listening intently. All right, guys. 214 likes. Hit the like button if you haven't. Why haven't you hit it? We're also about $30 away from a number we need. So if anybody wants to super chat, now is a good time to do so. We want to hear your thoughts on season 3. This is like a pre-game, hype video. It's supposed to be. So what are you excited for? Let us know, guys. Defiant style pulse phasers. Maybe those are sure. Let's go with that. Maybe part of the space that they need, the more powerful impulse engines also affects phaser strips, and they need the old school ball turrets. Press F to pay respect to the new Enterprise. Yes, flood the chat with Fs. Shouldn't the phaser strips go all the way around the saucer like on the Enterprise D? No, not necessarily. We've seen broken up phaser strips multiple times on different ship designs. The Enterprise D's is quite unique with all the way around like that.
I mean, it's a bad example, of course, but the Enterprise C has multiple tiny strips. That's a terrible example, yes. Of course, but yeah, I mean, it's variable. But I mean, you got my render here. I mean, it's our version based on the trailers, but there it is. They're the phaser strips. Yeah, I mean, it's weird, but also it's it's not a. It's a lot of Fs. It's not a not a warship. Who's to say they're actively not including lots of weapons? I'm just happy to say that I'm very happy to say that we know from shots in the trailer, because they did a lot of good shots, hence the good model here. In the concept art that Terry released of the ship in space dock, there was a giant bridge window in the top of the ship. I don't know if you noticed that.
I did not.
But it did not make it into the trailer version. I doubt they're going to change that from here to the final. So very, very happy to say that they did not keep that detail, because they could have. They probably were going to, but yay, because there are actually plates in the front, which would be very, very strange for there to be smooth hull, a window, plates that are differently shaped in front of that, which would then block the view. So you double, like, there's clearly no bridge window. The Stargazer does have a space which is more visible, but it did not continue over. So you know, there so ends for this generation the repeating bridge window conundrum. There is none on here.
Yeah.
Yes. Which is funny because Doug was saying he'd accept it now, but there's none on the Titan, so.
Oh yes.
Well, Hellraiser Voyage also had one giant strip in the front, so that followed the D etc. arrangement.
Yeah.
And yes, small turrets. Yeah, my assumption, like we said earlier, is there are point defense turrets to do smaller blasts and normal phasers, because they thought, hey, let's just do both. You know, because you can only fire so many phaser beams from a strip, but maybe you need to fire lots for quick fire weapons. So you would want ball turrets, which you know are far more. You know, you can fire much quicker. Although we have seen the D, you know, go very quick, but not necessarily from loads of places.
Then we get the Horizon that has it doesn't have a strip that goes all the way around the front. It could have cradled that registry number very well. However, no.
Yeah, no. I mean, it's what Rick designed. I was very happy with that. Yeah, no. Rick designed that phaser strip as well. He designed the new shape. Although it did. I remember when I got that. I mean, one best days of my life when I got those sketches. They're fucking amazing. But to see like, well, shit. There's that much space for the registry. It's like, damn, Rick. And actually, I do remember I did have him pull back a little bit on the registry. They went a little bit more in. I was like, I need more space for the registry. It can't be. I need more space, Rick. It's tiny already. Give me space, Rick. Space. Literally, I had that conversation with Rick Sternbach about having more space for the registry.
That's hilarious.
Yes. Yeah.
Eric Martin, though, $20. Thank you so much.
Oh, we're 80 cents. That's fun but frustrating.
Yeah.
Last Super Chat dollar. There you go. That boom, win.
The
yes.
last Super Chat word. Last Super Chat gets to say the last word for Super Chats, at least. Anyway, Eric throws in 20 and says, I'll be on a beach next week.
Oh.
So next to front load.
That's fair.
Next to front load things, I'm excited to see ships and a well-paced, engaging story. Yes, he's going to the Dominican Republic.
Fantastic. Have a fantastic time. Now, are you still watching Picard? You know, is that still a thing you're doing? Or are you actually on holiday and ignoring it? Ooh. What a time to go away. Although you have a lot of Trekyards to binge when you get back.
Brett Barrow says, will Seven end up taking command of the Titan A? Ooh, that's a good question. Not with Riker and Picard on board. I don't think that's very likely at all, actually. Unless they decide to go off and do their own thing, and she's the one that's left, then yes. But I'm going to say no.
Yeah, I don't think that... There's already so many higher ranking officers with a lot more... I remember, no offense to Seven, or Annika, however she's going to be... Well, you know, whichever, both. She's both. She was a Fenris Ranger for a long time. They're not going to be the most by the book sort of people. You know, she basically was a Marquis officer for a while, in essence, right? Without the formal training of Starfleet Academy. So second in command, great. You give advice, but you're not giving orders, right? Captain, I don't think she's qualified to be a captain for a while until she gets the zone, right? Even though it's been like a 2 years, whatever. Second in command, perfect. Great role for her. But we know from the context Riker takes over command. Because I can see, you know, Picard hasn't been a captain for a long time. He was an admiral behind a desk doing things. Riker's, you know, back in the saddle for a while, which is exciting. And besides, Picard has more tactical knowledge, I can imagine. Plus, it could be kind of funny if, you know, you swap that relationship from Picard to Riker in the olden days, swap them around. It could be kind of a fun dynamic, you know. Riker's on the center seat giving orders, and Picard's saying, You heard the captain, LaForge. This is what you did for 10 years. Yep. I don't like it. Yep. Go ahead, tell them, Admiral.
Yep.
Just to be funny. But I'm personally very excited for the Frakes and Stewart relationship, because it's pretty rare for any cast to become that close, let alone some of them, whoever's around, always meet up during the Christmas period every year, depending who's around and can do it in the local vicinity. They always do something, right? Even and Rick Berman as well. He's I think pretty Berman. He joins too. Like, they're a legitimate. I've known you for 40 years, And then you look at the TOS family. That's not a family. Like, these are the Voyager cast. Some like each other. There's obviously pairs and groups and such. I don't think Ethan and Tim hang out on the weekends, etc., which is fine. Obviously, most casts don't. But to have the TNG cast be that close, it will hopefully be extremely good on-screen chemistry, as long as they're given time to breathe. Like, while Nepenthe was great in Picard, to have it stooped under such darkness of the death of their son, of Thaddeus, like, that's hard stuff to do, to play with. It's a real dark light on the episode. They don't get to be themselves and whatever. They still got a red alert, of course, but that is going to be seeing that chemistry come back together, that life and love and or not. They've also been keen to say these people haven't necessarily kept up in the last 20 years, which is itself sad, obviously. But we'll see.
Eric Martin throws in $1, so thanks so much, Eric. And Paul Graham throws in $10. Awesome, Paul. Here's the rest. I'm looking forward to see more of Titan. OpenLuna.org needs a fashion artist immediately.
That's a name.
For a European Space Agency spacesuit contest. Well, there you go.
That's
any fashion
fantastic.
Artists in the crowd, go visit openluna.org and design a spacesuit, man. Do it.
That's amazing sounding. That
is
right there. Wow. Cool. Professor, any tribbles in season 3? Possibly. Tribbles are a TOS staple. I don't mean literally. I mean just like in a bar, in a something, like a reference tribble rather than a real tribble.
Reference tribble, I like that.
Although we'll say, when I went to the Last Destination Star Trek, before they got before CBS pulled the plugs unceremoniously on the whole fandom, like it was Marie, one of her presents for going to that convention to be my helper to help carry things and meet people, and very 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 useful, really really amazing. She wanted a present of a tribble because she likes stuffed animals and such. And then the joke was that I was there. We were there longer than expected because obviously Kate Mulgrew's queue was longer. Sulu's queue, fine. Everything took longer. So she's insisted in more tribbles, more presents, and the joke being, the longer we wait, the more they're going to breed and make So it makes sense. So I think I put like £45 on tribbles for her, like $60. Which has been very nice to be there. So now she has like 6 tribbles, and we have the one, the old one. We have like a classic Roddenberry one from like 2003. So I could do a fan film with tribbles, and I have like 6 tribbles, so they could multiply. Sorry, long thing. Just I thought about doing tribbles for a while, just like some sort of joke thing, because they're so iconic on screen, and they're not overly hard to get.
We got a basket of tribbles up in the ready room upstairs. And a glommer. We have a glommer right by it, hanging off the side of the basket.
What's a glommer?
It's from the animated series. Glommer is what eats tribbles. It's a tribble predator.
Oh.
So it's staying there, making sure that the ones that are in the basket don't like spill out.
I mean, that's safe. That's what's the word?
That's what that is.
Well, not just that. That's saving the world, keeping the world.
Mm-hmm.
Saving the world one thing at a time. Yeah.
On tribble it. Eric Martin, when does Picard release on Thursday morning? I may get up early and have coffee and croissant. It'll be 3 a.m. Our time, Eastern Standard Time. So, 3 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You'll be able to watch it.
So if you want to stay awake, you can watch it or not.
And I don't know if I'm going to be doing that yet. I mean, I probably will, let's be fair. But honestly, Crave, that plays it, isn't always 100% on time at 3 a.m., which annoys me.
It's always on time. How can a TV show be not on time?
That's a streaming service, so I don't know. And Prodigy, they had the Borg episode, and then the next week they released it was the right thumbnail and everything, but every time you clicked it, it played the Borg episode again. And it was like that for at least 2 or 3 days before they fixed it. So people were quite annoyed with that.
Dear me.
It's not always a guarantee that I can watch it at 3 a.m. So.
Whereas I will be going to sleep, ignoring the internet, because Discovery Season 1, there was a lot of people talking. Prodigy and Lower Decks, not many people talking about that the morning of. No post at all. So I could do everything and it's fine. I will not be on the internet until I've watched Picard. Literally, because, if I turn on Messenger, one of you motherfuckers will send me something. I'm not every time. Have you seen? No! I've been asleep! Why are you sending me a screen cap of the Galaxy class saucer in the episode? Saying, look, it's not a spoiler. It's just the registry. Why would you do that? I'm clearly English. I yawn more. They don't like you. Shut up. It's 10:43 at night. Don't be doing that. So I do not turn on my anything until after I've seen it. Which also a very strange way of living in the morning. Because Discovery Season 1, it was like, wake up, monster, coffee, whatever, and then watch TV. From someone who does work all the time, say, my first job is watching TV in the morning. It's weird to do that. It's a weird feeling. Yeah. To watch TV. Okay. And then you sit down here, and you stare at the pixels. Oh, is that an Enterprise J? Oh, God. No. But it might be.
Yep. It's fun.
Yep. And then I get to find the stuff before you find it, because you haven't really watched it once on a big screen without... No, TV or... No, different if you watch on Crave, but you normally watch on a PC or TV? I can't remember, like Prodigy and stuff.
Usually watch it on the big TV.
Yeah, so you're not pixel peeping, even though it's bigger. You're not... And I love throwing you stuff you haven't seen yet. I always adore that. It's like, did you notice that third Romulan ship? You're like...
Nope.
No? What? Here it is! I love those. It's great. I love it. Yeah. I love it also when I beat, all the other channels, like we film stuff in bulk. So like we have stuff ready and then they're like, the internet noticed this. I'm like, yeah, we noticed it on Thursday morning at, 12 your time. We did a video on it. We just talked about it for 30 minutes, but there's a release order.
That's frustrating when we've already filmed a video on it. We think we got like the upper hand and then all of a sudden somebody releases it. And we release ours later. So we talked about it first. But yeah, that's just frustrating.
But if we released everything first, there'd be nothing to release during the week. So
I know.
And you'd all bitch at me for not having stuff throughout the week.
Why would you even say that?
Well, I mean, if we released 4 videos on Saturday and nothing on Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, well, you release some videos. Well, yeah, because there would be no fun in that. So, yeah. Oh no, Eric. Well, thanks for trying.
What happened?
Tried a super chat, but it didn't work. I said no. He said no.
What? A few people have had that issue. Don't like it. With 229 likes, 230 likes. Hey, can we get 250? I don't know. We're going to be wrapping it up soon, I think.
Yes. We managed the full 3 hours. I loved our Titan talk. I loved our Enterprise F talk. Really interesting stuff. We are ship people for a reason. Dear me.
Give us the ships.
Yeah, this is think about it, Stuart. We are the very last people live on YouTube with an audience in a world before Picard season 3 has happened. There aren't going to be that many live streams happening. Talk about the show specifically before the show comes out. Are there any? I don't know if there are any scheduled. So that's we're Schrodinger's Picard right now. All right, this is a moment. It might be the best season of Trek since Voyager season 4. You know,
Could be.
I'm skipping Enterprise.
Yeah.
You know, no offense to Enterprise, but I'm skipping Enterprise there. Don't know, Stuart. It could be interesting.
It will be interesting, and I'm excited to find out what it's like. And it's not that far away, guys. It's right there, right on the doorstep.
I just wish they changed the colors of the Stargazer bridge to be a bit different. Because it would have been nice if it was, but they clearly built it to be the Titan. Just happened to be the Stargazer first. That's obviously what happened. You know, that was the Titan bridge. They used it as. I just wish it was a bit different. Would be nice. Even just different colored chairs. But boy, that upholstery is beautiful in the chairs. I can see why not, because that's a waste of upholstery. I spent like an hour designing that in a substance paint, like the hexagons and the rays and the leather. I love doing that. It was fantastic. So cool.
I just hate when I see pictures of it where it's like no lounging. It's a fucking chair. If I go to the bridge, I want to sit in the chair. So we actually had that at Ticonderoga. It's like, don't sit in these chairs. What they're for sitting in. It's like,
well, for filming, sitting in. As one of my 3 modeler friends, he you know, you think of the Enterprise E being a high budget film, right? But the Enterprise E chair is really crap wood, like someone disassembled it and did pictures, like misaligned, mispainted, really bad looking quality internals, like really cheap, but a nice upholstery, because that's what you see. So the stability of it might actually be quite low. It's only for certain scenes to look pretty. I mean, how often does he really sit in it? So
yeah,
there's the look value. I mean, those consoles, you know, I mean, if you shake the E console, they're probably going to move, right? They're not bolted to the ground. They're not whatever. So there is a, you know, they look gorgeous leather. It could just be a vinyl coating, you know.
Yeah, fair enough.
And imagine if it breaks, they can't just build a new one today. So you can, I mean, all these things put back filming. It's like, you know, Harrison Ford hurts his foot on Force Awakens. Well, shit. That's going to cost us $2 million in reshoots and pause and all these people, you know, because everyone's going to get paid for the day. Like, everyone's still being paid every day for every pause day, etc. So it's you know, that's why stuntmen get doing like the simplest stunt, because if the real person gets hurt, they can't shoot scenes 4, 5, and 6 today, or tomorrow, or the next day, or the next day, or, you know, ends up being a huge deal.
Yeah. And on that note, I think we'll call it quits.
Yeah.
I mean, like to thank everybody that joined us.
Super chat, as you say, the final word.
The final word right now is Paul Graham.
Oh.
With $10.
Oh, yes.
So here's the rest. I'm looking forward to seeing more Titan. OpenLuna.org needs a fashion artist immediately.
Yes.
For an ESA or European Space Agency spacesuit contest.
But
Go design a spacesuit, somebody.
But I would like a final super chat slot, knowing that you are giving a final super chat slot. And I would like one final thing, as we like Ross last second. Put in the chat right now. How excited are you for the season? Out of 10. Just spam the chat right now. Out of 10. How excited? Just a final note. Any final super chat would be phenomenal. $7 goes for a number. Just saying. But I really want to know the number. How excited are you, Stuart? Out of 10. Would you say? And you can be as honest as you want, because you might be overhyped or be underhyped. Honest number.
I'm gonna say 8.
I think 8's
8,
fair.
just because of all the reviews and things I've heard. I'm like I said, it might be too high of an expectation, but that's where I'm sitting.
No, I think 8's. Yeah, I think 8's good, because we've done this for years now. We know a bit more to keep ourselves a bit more balanced, because you kind of have to be. So 8 is still a high number, but leaves a lot of room to be. Yeah, 8's good. 8's good. Yeah. Put in right now in the chat, guys. How excited are you for tomorrow, or today for some of you, and final super chat if you would like to as well.
The final super chat word
will
be the last super chat. You get to say exactly what's on your mind. So
an 8.5, a 9, 7, 10. Ooh, wow, you are all of the excited. 9, 7.2 things. Why your brain works in a lot of decimals. 9.5, 8.5, 7, 9, 10, and 10. Oh my goodness. But what
a lot of new names I'm seeing too. Make sure you guys are subscribed so you don't miss our content.
If you love the specific ship and tech and character and breakdown, and you know, it's like I think we were the first people I remember seeing that did a video showing that Q was old in All Good Things and comparing them. Like no one did that. No one remembered that. Like, not even scientifically. I was like, no, guys, it's fine. He's old here. He's older there, in fact. Like, chill. So we do these sorts of videos. We think about it. We do it. Yes.
8.888 repeating.
That's fair.
All right, well, we'll call it there, guys. So I guess Paul did get the last super chat slot, so thank you, Paul. Everybody that's liked this video, thank you. If you haven't hit like, hit the like. If you're watching this after the fact, hit super thanks. You know the routine, guys.
It's a useful button as well.
And we're going to be seeing a lot of you guys because we're going to be here a lot talking about Star Trek and Picard. This is the way.
Theorizing. I think we're going to have some theorizing, Stuart. Oh, that'd be exciting again. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Which we also couldn't do if we'd seen the screeners. I was going to be lying the whole time.
There's the odd time where we've known more than we've let on, though. To kind of, you know.
Yeah, but small pieces to a puzzle versus the entire puzzle.
Yes, I know.
Yes. Cool.
All right. So until next time, he is Commander Cockney.
He is Captain Foley. We'll see you very soon, everybody.